live.
Right.
What's up, everybody? How's everybody doing tonight? We are live on Twitch, YouTube, and our live Discord stage channel. Pretty cool. So we're streaming in 3 different areas at once. Technology's great, isn't it? When it works. You guys ready to go? I think we're ready to podcast. I think we got all our sound checks. Tajo's good. Kingsley's good. NateFOO, your sound's good. Got your camera. It looks like we're ready to roll. All right. Here we go. Well, what's up, Guardians? Welcome to episode 354 of the newly branded Guardian Down Roundtable. Join me, Todd the Gator, and my my permanent co-host, Kingsley Mack. Sorry, you're now a guest co-host. You've been demoted, Kingsley, as we invite a rotating list of guest co-hosts every week to join us at the table, where every gamer has a seat in the conversation. Our mission is very simple. We're creating dialogues concerning topics and news that impact our gaming hobby, all while keeping a focus on our community. We go live every Thursday night, 9 p.m. Eastern on my Todd the Gator YouTube and Twitch channels and our Discord live stage. But let's check in first with my co-host from the great state of Utah, Mr. Kingsley Mack. How you doing, Mike? How's it going? How you doing tonight, man?
I've never cared about titles, so you can call me whatever you want.
Sorry, I don't know what.
Say words will never hurt you.
Yeah,
that
there you go.
Is more true for me than even most people.
Sticks and stones, right? Yeah, I hear you, man. I hear you. Good deal, man. Thanks for hanging in there again tonight. Yet again, Mr. Kingsley Mack. Well, let's introduce our first guest co-host tonight. He is back for his first official Roundtable appearance. You can hear his original interview back on episode 310 of June of last year. It's 2025. He's been a member of our community for over 2 years now. He's been very active in Destiny 2 and had lots of feedback in the past. But like many of us, he's kind of playing other things right now. Another member of the great state of Indiana. Say hi to Tajo Trade. How you been, man? Doing all right?
Yeah, good. I'm glad to be back.
Thanks, man.
Excited that you invited me.
Heck yeah, man. And you got a great topic tonight. We'll talk about that in a sec, but welcome, sir. Appreciate you, man. Our second guest co-host, he has been a part of our community for over 6 years now. He's one of our OGs where it all began. You can hear his original interview back with us on episode 46 of June.
Wow, double digit.
June of 2020. Yeah, we were just a young podcast back then. He's a part of the Guardians mental health platform, and he's back to talk with us tonight. Please welcome our longtime friend from LA, California. It's Mr. NateFOO. How you been, man?
I've been good.
Thanks for coming on tonight, man. That's good to catch up with everybody. I was just talking before the show. I got this list of all my past guests that I want to bring back and kind of have like a little powwow with, have kind of a reuniting, where we've been a while since we talked. So thanks for coming on tonight, man. I'm looking forward to hearing your topic as well. So here's what we have lined up on tonight's show. First, we're going to start things off with Mr. Tajo Trade. He's going to discuss a revelation he had while playing video games. And he asked the question, does our play style in games mimic how we live in real life? Yeah, deep question. So curious to talk about that. Then it's on to our next topic where NateFOO wants to discuss the delicate relationships between streamers and developers, especially on social media these days, and how mental health enters the equation. And for the final topic of our show tonight, I mentioned last week how good we have it as gamers these days, that we have so many games to choose from, but so little time. But there's a trend I'm seeing, especially in 2026, that gives me hope for the future of gaming and how there might be a seismic shift in the games industry very soon, if it's not already happening already. I'll explain a little later in the show what that's about. After that point, we'll shift into our catch-up segment where we'll talk and see what everybody's been doing in their life since we talked with them last. What they're watching, what they're gaming, anything they want to talk about. And at the end of the show, if we have any time, we'll answer questions from our community if we have any. So if you do have a question for us, make sure you go to our podcast questions channel in our Discord, or you can go to guardiandowncast.com and send us an email or a voicemail is even better. So if everyone's ready, let's roll. All right, well, let's start off with Mr. Tajo Trade. What do you got on your mind for today, Mr. Tajo Trade?
Yeah, so I was doom scrolling on the YouTubes, as one does, and I came across this 6.5 minute video, and I really like shorter videos, just because you're in and out and move on. And the title caught me because it said, how you play games is how you do everything. And so I watched it, and the guy in the video goes on to explain not so much the big decisions you do, because I mean you could be playing a character or whatever, but like the stuff you don't really think about kind of reflects onto your character. Like say you're playing a game and you come across somebody that needs help, and your first instinct is to help that person, probably means that you help people in real life if convenient,
Yeah.
maybe you don't go out of your way all the time, but just the general concept kind of stuck with me. And for the past, I think I watched it about a week or two ago. And since then, I've just kind of, every time I've sat down to play games myself, I've kind of caught myself thinking, how does this reflect in my day-to-day life? And so I just kind of wanted to hear your guys' thoughts. I know for me, I don't, I've never been like a story person. I don't really care about the story in games. And I'm kind of like that in real life too. I don't really care about like the reasoning behind stuff. I just care about the action to get it done or how to solve an issue or whatever. I don't really think too much about why it happened.
Is
So that's just one instance.
I'm just curious, is that kind of what your job entails, where you're like problem solving, just like getting it done as quick as possible? Is that kind of how your job works out, or?
Yeah, my job is very time management focused. For anybody who doesn't know, I'm a truck driver and a warehouse worker. So it's all about getting loads on time, getting them out the door, and then putting them in a way in a location that you can easily find. It's all tracked and everything. So yeah, I think that plays a part into it.
Makes sense. That makes sense. Yeah. I mean, what do you guys think about this? I saw the video, by the way. The guy got like 2 million views on this video, and he's like
2.2 million.
He's like I think he's like 49,000 followers, and he even mentioned he was a younger YouTuber, and he was like, I put out stuff when I feel passionate enough to put something out. So this is what revelation I had. I was sitting there playing a game, and it just dawned on me. Yeah, it was a good video, man. I watched it. It was really good. In 6 minutes. I mean, that's a great length for a video. But I'll go to you, Nate. What do you think, man? Do you think that you agree with that? Do you think that how you play games in the digital world reflects on how you do stuff in life? What do you think?
Well, it's kind of funny, like the example you brought up, with how you actually play your games. I think in a lot of ways I do the exact opposite in gaming
Really?
than what I do in real life, because in real life I have to be very buttoned up. My job is also technical. It's by the numbers. I do quality control on aircraft parts, so everything is by the book, by the letter. So I don't have time to, know the story behind what I'm actually, testing. And every now and then I do get out. I'll talk to the engineers and I go, "What exactly does this part do?" Because I'm curious. Yeah. So when I do play games, I like to actually have stories, and I like to actually be kind of steering the ship, as opposed to games that are very on rails and you're just along for the ride.
Right. Right.
Are you steering it sounds though like you're steering the ship with your job too, right?
No, I'm kind of along for the ride. I get what I get, and the numbers are what they are. I don't. I'm not
and
the repair side of it. I just basically they deliver the part. I test it. It either passes or it fails. It doesn't matter what my feelings are on it.
Yeah.
Binary.
And do you like your job, or is it just a job?
A little bit of both. It's
Mhm.
it's interesting, but there's times that it just gets tedious. It's almost like certain
Yeah.
games we play where it starts to feel like homework after a while.
Mm-hmm.
And I've been doing this job for 21 years, so there's not much that I haven't seen.
Katie can't crack me
Yeah,
up.
the reason I was asking about the job thing, and I agree, it can go either way, but like I love that you brought this topic up, Tajo. I am very big about personality types, and I've had similar discussion points in the past, and I 100% agree that our base personality, or if we're not thinking about things, or how we play video games, is often how our personality is. It doesn't have to be. Sometimes we want an escape, we want to do things a little different, but I definitely find that because I'm a very observant and more of a flexible person in real life. I get bored doing the same thing over and over. Same thing in video games. I don't like the chores in video games. I like games where I get to explore and see different things all the time. And I really love the topic because I even want to think of it in a bigger level that I try to push this all the time on the podcast, but like often people, when they see how people play other video games differently, they think it's maybe wrong. Like, oh, you're into exploring and not doing certain quests, that's wrong. Or, oh, you're into liking bounties, that's wrong. I mean, I'm standing up for you, Gator, even though I don't like it. Of course, it's a way to play.
I'll explain why I do bounties. I'll explain.
Because you like to do things regimentedly.
Yeah, it's funny. It's funny. When Tajo presented that topic, I actually had to start thinking about why I like to hoard stuff in video games. I like to collect stuff with bounties, I guess. Yeah, it very much reflects my life because when I get a job done, I get paid. You know, I check it off the box. I cross it off the list. It's done, whether it's XP or money or whatever in real life. I gamify my service route. Now, granted, when I'm there, I take my time. I do a good job and everything, but yeah. Go ahead.
So I was going to say, it's like with my job, luckily, and I started my own business, I could never do jobs. I mean, anyone can do a job, right, that is maybe not their base personality type, but I'm more of a go with the flow personality type than a schedule stuff. Obviously, I can fit a schedule. I'm always on time, but I do not like that as my base personality. So luckily, I found a job. I created my own job where it's different every day. It's very flexible. It's I do repetitive things too, but I am always kind of like, there's something different going on all the time because I would probably just be DED, brain dead, if I had a job where I had to do the exact same thing every day for years and years and years.
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
So I really like this, Tajo. I noticed you talked kind of about a second point at the end. I don't know if you're going to get into that at all, but I definitely agree with the main point about how personality types can be, in games, how you play games can be how you do everything else, and there's nothing wrong with it. Everyone can play games differently.
Yeah, and like just because you do something in game doesn't necessarily reflect that that's what you would do. Because I mean,
of course,
some people sit down to play games to live out situations that they can't do in real life. I mean, I get it, but what I took away from the video, which he kind of barely touched on, is it's the small things that you don't really think about that reflects your personality. So, and I don't want people to get hung up on this. I don't want people to get hung up on the story example because I know that some people hear that I don't like game stories and then they just kind of latch on that and forget everything else. There's just an example of
what you were getting at.
Yeah, I mean, I'm diagnosed ADHD. My entire life is filled with little side quests that I involuntarily go on.
Oh yeah, brother.
And one of the things that I've had to learn over the years, and it was basically because of my life, it actually started reflecting in my gaming. I used to be very, very susceptible to falling for FOMO tactics. And I can't do that, in my real life, profession. So it's just one of those, it's like, why I had to take a serious sit back and look and go, do I really need to be doing this? Is this healthy for me? Like, if I was doing this in real life, where would this get me? So.
Did you get, just curious, just a side tangent here. Did you get diagnosed early, Nate, or did you get diagnosed late in life like I did?
Late in life, I actually got the official diagnosis. We really knew my entire life, and I have 2 daughters now, and it was very easy to get them early diagnosed because they take after their old man.
My son begged me. He said, "Dad, please get just an analysis done, even if it's just telehealth or something. Just get a I don't know what it's called, But they give you like 10 things, and you have to be really honest and check off these 10 things. If any of them apply to you, 8 out of 10 of them I checked. And she was like, "Oh yeah, it's called ADHD. It's like neglectful, or not neglectful. It's like we're forgetful or something. I don't know. I can't remember half the time, but it's
as he says,
Yeah,
forgetful
exactly.
ADHD.
Exactly.
I don't remember.
Right there, just
it's like not it's like not passive, but it's
Right.
you guys know what I'm talking about. It's not the hyper part. It's the other part. It's like the opposite side of it, where I've actually, I daydreamed a lot in school, and would grow tired of stuff if it didn't interest me. And I'm a starter and never a finisher to stuff, because I'll get that dopamine hit when I first start it, and then once I start getting into it, it's just like the dopamine's not there anymore, and it just goes away. It's probably the reason why I'm very bounty oriented when I play games, and like I like to go on, like I'm gonna collect alloys today and arc raiders. I'm gonna get my alloys up, and I'm very routine or
Task oriented. Yeah.
I'm very task oriented, because if I'm not, if I turn on arc raiders one day and I'm like, what am I gonna do? And I just get this feeling of overwhelm if I don't have a mission or something that I'm trying to do. And it's usually how I break off of games, because I lose direction on what I'm supposed to do in the game. And I'm like, well, why am I even playing? I don't even know what to do.
Yeah.
I mean,
I feel that
good.
very much.
Really? See, I mean, that's
Yeah.
what happened to me in Forsaken. Forsaken came out. All of a sudden, all this shit was flashing on me. They had titles and, all these new things entered in the game. And I literally froze. First time in my life, I actually froze. I did not know what to do. And I almost got a little sense of panic, man. It was weird. I know it's dramatic.
A little analysis paralysis.
I know it's dramatic, but it really, for the first time, I realized I really have to have task. I really have to have, and that's the way I do my job. I'm very task oriented. But at the same time, like you said, Kingsley, I'm solving problems every day. My days are my one day to another is very different. I can have someone call me about a weed issue in their yard, and I have to go and analyze why that weed's growing there in that yard. And then, of course, what I need to apply to it without hurting the grass. Is the grass dry? Has it been watered correctly? Does it have enough sun?
Is there a body there?
Yeah, exactly. So there's all kinds of factors. And I almost feel like a doctor, like a lawn doctor, when I show up to people's houses, or whether it's an insect problem in their house or something. I have to investigate. I said, well, why are these ants on the counter in their kitchen? Did they bring some? So I'll start questioning them. Did you bring something from the grocery store lately? Or did you move? Did you do some construction? Did you retile a part of your house? Because they come in tile boxes all the time, because they sit in warehouses for years. Stuff like that. So I guess I love discovery, like you do, Kingsley, in games. That new Riventide map that they made in Arc Raiders just blew me away. But if I don't have a reason or instructions on what I need to do and what I need to get for what I'm doing, I can get kind of lost. And I can sit there and enjoy where I'm at when I'm playing, but yeah, and
sometimes it's purposeful. The game companies will do that, even me, like I like things a little more loosey-goosey, but I mean, there's still times where it doesn't matter what side of the aisle you're on, games can be a little confusing. So yeah, it's not just a personality thing there, but right. I get it. Love the topic, and I just want people to, we're a good company here. I mean, a lot of people here say they have ADHD. My wife does. I don't at all, but like I totally appreciate that, and I understand that, and I think it's totally okay for people to play games differently. But then also, it was interesting because it can also be something you look introspectively at, and you're like, well, do I want to do this or not? Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Which,
like I
was
said,
what I was saying with
after
the FOMO thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, after I watched that video, every time I've sat down since then, I'm thinking is like, how does this reflect my current situation in my life right now?
Yeah.
If I'm feeling stressed out, am I just trying to knock things off so I feel control? Or if I'm real relaxed, am I taking my time through a game, or, things like that?
Yeah. And it can vary, right? And
Right.
I think the question to ask, do I want to do this, isn't because one way is right or one way is wrong. I think it's more, do I want to do this just how I feel like doing things right now. And it's a good way to kind of be introspective. And the more things we have in our life, we're being observant with, like, okay, I'm playing video games this way right now. I even catch myself doing this some. I'll talk more about it later, but I've been playing a brand new campaign in a game, and I'm taking it slow. Even for me, like, I don't usually skip cutscenes and stuff, but I still kind of power through. But this time, I'm taking it slower than normal.
Yeah.
And it's not because I felt like anything I did in the past was wrong. I just felt like being different this time and just being a little more introspective. So it's kind of fun to change it up.
Now, I will say that
You can't give me a skip button. I'll skip everything all day. If you
Yeah,
give me a
that's
skip
good.
option, it's going.
Until a puzzle comes up and you miss the instructions, right? No,
No, I'll figure it out. I'll figure it out, or I'll look it up on YouTube.
Yeah.
There's guides out there.
now I will say this, because I was thinking about this while I was working today. I mean, what's the one thing in our lives? Well, most of our lives these days is that scarcity mentality, right? Like, there's not enough money. There's not enough, we need to get more of this at the grocery store. We need to, I need to get this so I can do this on the yard. Or, I mean, we're always trying to gather stuff, and like for hurricane season, it's all about making sure we have all our staple items if we lose our power and stuff. Maybe that's why I love collecting resources and hoarding them. I'm not a hoarder. I mean, if you look at my house, I'm not a hoarder. I'm not the type of person who keeps every little thing. But somehow when I play a video game, whether it's Elden Ring or Destiny 2 or Arc Raiders right now, it's just something about, I always want to be prepared. And if some buddies say, hey, we need a third to go run, we're going to go beat up a matriarch tonight, we need a third to help me out, I want to make sure that I have all the guns, the ammo, I have all the heals and defibrillators or whatever I need. I never want to have that feeling where I'm like, I don't have a defib. Can anybody drop one for me in the map or whatever? I really hate that. So that's why I'm always making sure I collect stuff, whatever RPG or every kind of game I'm playing, and why I always gripe about about putting caps on enhancement cores and stuff. I'm like, and when I want to upgrade something, or whether it's my armor or whatever, and I don't have enough freaking enhancement cores, why are we putting limits on enhancement cores, Bungie? Why? Let us farm as much as we damn well please within reason, not infinity, but more than 500.
That's not an everyone thing. That's not what's the one thing we all know. That's a you and some people thing.
Yeah.
And other people, I never have a scarcity mindset. And I'm not wealthy or anything, but I just do not have a scarcity mindset ever.
I mean, bills are bills, man. I live in a scarcity mindset, even though I'm very good about gratitude. I'm very good about living in the moment, which I think a lot more people need to do these days. They need to take in what's good around them and take stock in that instead of worrying about what they don't have in life, because that can really turn you. It can really grind you, man. It can grind you into the ground, into states of depression. And NateFOO knows all about that stuff, what he deals with Guardians Mental Health. But, yeah, that part of me also, I started thinking about that part of me also is why I like hoarding stuff in games, whether it's Destiny 2 or Arc Raiders. But
it's your personality.
I guess. Some comments here in the chat, in the Discord chat. Scarlet Maddie said, I cried last night playing a story game when the character died. Friggin' love that little dwarf. Lots of facet of games are made for a myriad of people. Some people like action, some people like conjecture. Dadbot Hero says, same here. I do. He's talking about, he does quality control for medical devices. So it's so technical and precise, talking about your job, Nate. It's fun doing the things in video games that I wouldn't do in real life. GTA, for instance, I wouldn't steal a car and go on a rampage in real life, but it sure does sound like fun. That is definitely escapism, that game. That game is escapism. And I got something to say about GTA tonight. Okay. Zombie says, because they can't clean up that dang sugar.
I have to read every comment.
I know. I'm just saying. And Deadpool says, Todd, that's traits of a solo player syndrome. Yeah. And
not every solo player,
but yeah, I mean, cause it's all on you, right? Right. Deadpool. It's all on you as a solo player. You die, you lose all your crap. So you have to be careful. So I don't know, Tajo, I thought it was a really good topic, man. I mean, is there anything else you wanted to add, sum up, or,
we kind of were all over the place, but
we did as usual.
Yeah, I mean, we pretty well hit all the main points. I
Okay.
just kind of wanted to give people a jumping off point to maybe
Yeah.
think about why they do certain things.
I thought it was a good first
If they
topic.
want to, they don't have to,
Yeah.
obviously.
Well, I mean, everybody listening or watching right now, think about that next time you jump into a game. Ask yourself why you play the way you do, because there's probably some correlation. But like I said, some people do the opposite of what they do in real life because of that escapism, like GTA. So, yeah, good topic. Good topic, Tajo. Thanks for bringing it to our attention tonight, man. Appreciate it. All right, let's move on. I think we got NateFOO up next. Be right back. That was a perfect amount of time.
After these messages.
Perfect. Well, for our audio listeners, that's why I do the transitions. At JD Kent, in real life, I have to I have yet to teabag anyone. I stress yet. I post that on the screen. I had to. It was funny as hell. Halo player. All right, Nate, you ready to go, man?
Yes, sir.
Here we go. 3, 2. All right, next up is Mr. NateFOO. NateFOO, what do you want to talk about this week, man?
Well, like you'd mentioned, I've been working with as a volunteer for Guardians Mental Health for since 2019.
Wow.
And one of the things that we've been that we talk about often amongst our group and our ambassadors that we have, and what's going into, and this is a shameless plug, we have a mental collab program that we're firing up that's going out to the community so that they can kind of get some tools and training. But one of the things that we constantly hammer home is the concept of parasocial relationships. And we usually hear these in terms of, people in the audience that, to you, there's hundreds of names on the screen or tens of names on the screen. Very often you don't know them, but you're out here, you're the performer, you're sharing your life with them. So they know you a lot better than you know them. And they tend to start feeling attached to that. And sometimes it can get unhealthy. We've heard numerous stories of mods that turn around and start stalking the creator that they're doing mod work for because they feel some sort of entitlement because they're a mod, or just the general audience members. But where I've been noticing a lot lately is the way gaming communities start really taking it to devs like it's a personal vendetta, like that, like I'm going to use DMG from Bungie as a perfect example. Like he, for whatever reason, he still decides that he wants to post stuff about the game on his personal Twitter, or X, as we're calling it now. I don't know why he does that. They have a Destiny team account for that. But man, people just go in on him like he's the one pulling the levers behind the game. like he has anything to do with the success or failure. It's just real interesting that people get stuck on these things, and I see it both ways. I see these people, Marathon is so polarizing with the community. There's, and you get to, and I don't know what your language policy is on here, but I'll use the term D-writers.
Gotcha.
Or shills, as they've, I'm sure you've been called a Destiny shill many a time because,
absolutely.
You're fond of the game. But yeah, it's just like you can't even like a game without someone coming at you, and it's just like, we're again, the creators don't have that much influence that you think they do. Yeah, they have a voice, but it's usually they're almost a representative of the community. If their community is enjoying the game, they're now doubly or triply so, and they're bringing that information back to the developers if they're working in collaboration with a game. That's not just them going, I love this game, my community be damned.
Yeah. I saw those tweets that DMG put out recently, and his reply to some of it, how he was just deflated. People forget all the great years that Destiny's been out 12 years, guys. I mean, think about all the good things that Destiny brought to our community. I mean, we started a podcast because of it. I mean, that's our origins of our podcast, was the Destiny game by itself. There's just no way games will last forever. They just run their course. And for people to personally attack DMG because of it, I mean, it's okay. Let's put it in perspective. Okay. This person who's attacking DMG, how would you like it if someone came to your job and just started cussing you out? I mean, you're sitting there behind the counter. All you're doing is just helping customers come up that are looking for, I don't know, a widget for their house or something. And all of a sudden they just start yelling at you and yelling at you about how the company you work for sucks. And they, you know, you should be burning in hell because of what this company has been doing to people. And I mean, you literally just work for the company. You're not the CEO. You're not sitting up there making these decisions up in the corporate offices. You're down on the floor trying to interact with the customer, which just symbolically, that's what DMG is. He's the guy at the counter. He's the interface between the community, and he runs any feedback he gets up the pole to the higher up developers in Bungie. And I never understood why people would lash out so much. And it's not just DMG. Yeah. It's a lot of game devs out there that have to deal with this. And there's a reason why they went with a Destiny team, and how they don't even tell you who writes the TWAB every week, because people get attacked for that. So, I don't know, man.
Yeah, and again, it's for things that are out of their hands. This, you know, the equivalent of you know, you've been working, probably some of your customers you've had for a decade, right?
3 decades.
3 decades, right? And so yeah, you're out there, you're treating their yards, you're doing whatever, and you know, you've been lockstep perfect, and that's why they keep coming back to you. But you know, guess what? Last month, locusts showed up,
right?
And they're like, "Damn it,
Act
Todd!
of
Why
God.
didn't you Right? Why didn't you protect my yard from this, Todd? I'm never going to work with you again, Todd."
Dude, I deal with that now anyway. It doesn't have to be locusts. It can be any other act of God. Yeah, I know, man. I mean, and in my situation, I do represent the company. I am the CEO. I'm the president. I make the decisions for the company. Yeah.
And even you're not immune to this.
But I'll give you an example. I'm not going to go too off the beaten path here. Trust me. I had a customer. I was just talking with a customer at dinner tonight. He put sod in his yard. He paid $17,000 to redo his sod in his yard. If you guys need to pay someone to take care of your grass, because it is so expensive to replace. And he put it into his front yard. He put it in a real shady spot. St. Augustine grass needs 6 hours of direct sunlight to just produce the sugars and survive. He's not getting an hour. It's like darkness under oak trees. And he wanted me to come and treat it. And his grass guy said to treat it with a fungicide. I'm like, what I did want to tell him was there was no amount of fungicide on my truck that's gonna stop this grass from thinning out and dying, because it's just not getting the natural sunlight that it needs to grow. And he was frustrated. And he says, you know, I'm not lashing out to you. I'm just frustrated in this whole situation. And sometimes what I try to do is I just try to educate people on why. Right. And my wife tries to get me to do this. Instead of being absolute because I know it all, I try not to be absolute with my responses. And my wife's helping me do that, because people can argue absolutes. You know, they can have a different way of seeing things. But if you explain, I don't know, DMG can sit there and has the time to explain why Destiny hasn't released a DLC yet. There's probably a lot of stuff he has a gag order on where he can't say anything. He's probably told by the corporate structure, even Sony maybe, to not say anything until there's something to say, because speculation can run amok. But it's the same kind of thing, you know. It was a really good topic when you mentioned it, because God, people really do take it personally now. And I know I tend to be the one that has the flair for the dramatic in our show, but I don't know, man. I don't understand why are people so. Why do people take it so personally? Do you understand why that could be, Nate? I mean, I don't know why people act the way they do sometimes when it comes to games.
Again, you know, going back to the first topic, you know, a lot of how you live your life is a lot of how you do your gaming, and to a lot of people, for 12 years or for 10 years, this has been their escape, and I guess to put it in a weird comparison, it's, you've been dating a girl for 10 years and she treats you good, and then suddenly for the last 2 years, she's just kind of treated you like crap.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
Does it, and again, like, yeah, you have your platform in which you have your opinions and whatnot. You're not, at least I hope not, you're not in DMG's DMs. You're not writing, nasty word letters.
No.
You're not doxing people from the company. You're not writing, the senators in Seattle and trying to cause havoc.
Right.
You're not swatting creators because they like something you don't, or dislike something that you do.
Remember that one developer, I can't remember his name, got death threats because they took a certain piece of exotic armor away for the Titan? You remember that, Kingsley? Guy got death threats. People were doxing him where he lived and phone numbers and stuff, and it was just, why, man? I just don't understand it. Maybe I'm just not seeing it the right way here, but I don't know. I don't understand it. Kingsley, Taja, you guys have any input on this?
Yeah. I have a fair amount to say about this.
Okay. He's chomping at the bit. He's waiting for me to stop talking.
We definitely went down just to one particular point,
Yes,
but I kind of
did.
wanted to get back to the original, some of the things you were mentioning, where I agree 1,000%. It goes in line with, I don't know if you heard our last episode, but I was saying very similar things where I trying to get people to think about when they use certain words that are harsh one way or the other, and it usually is not true. I gave the example of people saying like, oh, a streamer is just glazing this game, or a streamer is complaining.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And that really rubs me, because 90% of the time when I go and watch those actual things that I'm like, I didn't see it that way. It wasn't that big of it. They weren't being that extreme. But then the people, because they disagree, they don't know how to use logical reasoning. They use emotions to get in the way. And they're like, oh, that person was being extreme, instead of just talking about the actual point, right? So I agree that it's very popular for people to not like streamers or things like that, but there are people too. And I think as us watchers and viewers, or don't watch streamers, that's fine too. But if we are, and sure, there's going to be people that really are extreme and really are acting bad, or will not say like one way or the other, like, you're only allowed to like this game, you can't have a different opinion. You're only allowed to hate this game, you can't have a different opinion.
Right.
So unless you're saying that or being extra complainy, people take it too extreme all the time. And I wish people would try to think more in their life, what was really being said. Maybe we're twisting it a little bit more, and they're real people too.
Right.
Whether you agree with them or
Here's
not,
where it
don't
gets
be
into
harsh.
the parasocial point is, and especially with streamers, and a little bit now with with the game devs. One, there's a monetary aspect to it. I sub to your channel.
Yeah.
Right. I
So,
bought your game, so you owe me.
Well, oh my gosh, don't get me started with that. With games too, people think because they buy a game that gives them the right to do everything in the game. No, it gives you the right to have the game, but if something's hard and you can't get it done, that doesn't mean because you paid for the game, you have the right to get it done. No, you still have to accomplish it. So same thing. Yeah, you're same thing with streamers. Just because you're paying them doesn't mean you get to control everything.
I felt a little eyeball toward me on that last comment. How you
it's
just
for multiple people. If it's for you too, Todd, then you can take.
I'm sure I've complained about how Bungie should give me this because I paid for the game. I'm sure I've mentioned that before.
Anyways, so and I'm sounding a little harsh myself, but like I love the topic because it's kind of like, I feel like, I don't know, a lot of people just don't think things through and they act emotionally and stuff. So
JD Kent, there's no way Monopoly's ever going away. Chess will disappear before that happens. Okay, technically you got me on that one. And he also says, I'm sure Sony is a publicly traded company. He's limited on what he can differentiate, say. And I'm sure Sony probably right away had made everybody sign non-disclosure, commitments and agreements, without Sony's approval too. let stuff be released to the press and stuff. So I'm sure things have changed, man. It's not Bungie anymore. It's Sony.
Yeah, I
So-
mean, there's still a couple of things that I'm still under NDA for from stuff that I saw
Yeah.
a year ago. So
Okay, on that topic real quick,
Okay.
I feel like there is history why they're using the personal accounts, but I do agree it should be different these days. And it was a good setup, and it started way back from even what's his name?
Cosmo,
Cosmo, but even before him, no, who was the guy that left?
Oh,
It was like
Deej.
early
Deej.
Deej,
Deej.
yeah.
I love Deej.
And I think also the company generally had the kind of feel was like, oh, we're all personable, so this and that. And it probably is in a state now where they can't even make the decision, oh, should we change it? But I did see one of the responses to this thing you're talking about exactly. And someone actually did give a response saying, I actually think that you guys should stop using the personal accounts. Maybe I'm sure they probably heard that before, but it kind of got me to think like, yeah, I think it's probably true. They should be using the company account versus the personal account. At least that way he'll have a little bit of separation, even though he still has to read it. You know what I
Right.
mean? But like they're not saying his name and stuff, you know.
It's the double-edged sword. If you use the company account, we don't know who's behind it, so we don't know how
Yeah.
much value to put to it. Whereas if it's got DMG stamp of approval, you know it's coming from a certain place. So yeah, what's the guy to do?
Yeah.
I'm sure he feels just like a lot of Destiny players right now. He plays the game too, by the way. So I'm sure he feels the same way. Taja, you got any opinion on this? I didn't leave you out.
Yeah, mine's probably a little more unique because, as I mentioned pre-show, that I pulled back from social media like 3 years ago. I'm so disconnected. Like most of the stuff you guys talk about, I have no idea what you're even discussing. I mean, even if I do tune in for a live stream for anybody, which is it's rare, but whenever I do, I always minimize or clear away the chat. I don't even read it.
Yeah.
And then like the only social media I guess I do is once a month roughly, not like exact, but once a month roughly, I'll pop on Facebook to see what my extended family is up to. And
Yeah.
I can't even do that for more than a couple minutes before I just get annoyed and close it away.
What's your secret?
No, I did the same
ouch.
thing on Facebook.
Yeah.
I'm such an impersonable person. Like it may come across narcissistic, but if it's not affecting me, I don't really care what other people are doing.
That's
Like, you know,
surprisingly
long-
healthy. Yeah.
yeah, as long as it's not illegal and it's not bothering me or harming somebody, they can do whatever they want. And so much of the stuff that pops up on like a live stream feed, for instance, before I can close it away, just those few seconds is just, just some dumb, over exaggerated nonsense that doesn't actually contribute to anything. I just don't care to read it.
I envy you.
But it just wastes your time, right? It's just,
Exactly.
it's not like it's beneath you. It's just, some people just want to get on social media and just argue. And,
Yeah.
I don't understand that because I'm like you, Tajo. I tune in. Usually I'll tune into X when it's something DMG saying or someone that I've followed that I'm curious if they have some news I want to hear. It's all for information. I never get on to argue a point. I don't know.
Oh, yeah.
It's just a waste of time because like I mentioned a couple shows ago, the neighborhood apps, the Nextdoor app, someone will say, what is this bug? I got this bug on my back porch. Can someone help me with this? And I'll pop on it, so I'll help them out. I know what it is. I know I can tell them everything they need to know about it. And I respond and I answer and then someone will go to Google or Gemini or something and tell them it's some bug from up north, which does not apply. And they're totally wrong. But they absolutely know what this bug is. And I'll go, no, I understand why. I try to be tactful. I'll say, yeah, I understand why you think it could be that bug, but those really aren't in Florida. this is really, and then they take it personally, like I'm dissing them or something. And then I have
Right.
to always throw it out there that I'm a 30-year veteran in the pest management company, in the business. And I've seen it a million times. And usually I end up looking like the asshole in the whole situation. So what I do now, when someone says what kind of bug or what kind of snake or what kind of this, what is this? Why is my plant doing this? Skip. I just
Yep.
don't engage anymore, man.
Which is a shame because you have a valuable,
I do.
you know,
I can help
wealth
people.
of knowledge you could share with people.
Yeah, I can help people. And the only reason I jump on Nextdoor is if someone recommends me or recommends my services. One of my clients is on there.
Right.
I have actually gotten business from the Nextdoor app, but I don't engage anymore. I just let the idiots jump in there and tell them what they think they have. And I'll just
Yeah,
shake.
it's kind of funny. It's funny you say that because from personal experience, like people I know talking about that, it's almost like the more you know about something, the less you are to jump into the conversation.
Yeah. Because you realize people are ignorant and they just really
Yeah.
don't know what the hell they're talking about.
It's called the Dunning-Kruger effect.
Yeah. Yeah. So it's just not worth your brain power. And my God, that's the one thing we all don't have enough of these days is time, especially, I don't know what it is when you get older, but you definitely know time is more valuable than money when you get older.
Yep.
And you're just like, it's just not worth my time. And, you just move on. But, I don't know, man. Did I get off base? I don't know. Kingsley, are we on track on this topic?
The fifth time. But love you, man.
I don't know, man. Anybody else have more opinions on this? I want to make sure.
Hearing that story.
I mean, I could talk about this as an entire episode.
Yeah,
and
it's easy to.
We have.
Yeah, it's so good, the meta-analysis of these things, I feel like, because it's good for people to kind of understand the bigger picture and what's going on, what's worth talking about, what's not, what's worth complaining about, what's not, what's worth talking up too much, what's not, you know what I mean? All the above.
Yeah. I guess before you decide to lash out at a streamer or a dev or even a liaison between, you know, a community liaison, think about someone doing that at your job. Put the shoe on the other foot and think about how would you feel if someone came in and started ragging on your company that you have no control over, make no decisions about. And how would you feel? Would you feel pretty deflated and you'd feel like me, where you just don't want to engage anymore? And do you really want Sony and Bungie to go silent? I mean, that's what's going to happen. If we continue to harp on these developers, they're just going to say, no, I'm not touching that with a 10-foot pole, man. I'm not saying a damn thing. And you'll just have to wait for the press releases on stuff, the corporate speak. Everyone hates corporate speak, but hey, anybody tries to put out an opinion that works for a company these days, you got to watch your job, man, because people will jump all over that stuff. It's not fair. And if anything, I think we've course corrected a little bit from the olden days when everybody jumped on and tried to deplatform everybody for anything they would say. Those are some dark times, man. But still, it's just, I don't know. I just don't understand. He's just trying to, I know we're using DMG as an example here because it's fresh in my mind, but he's just trying to connect with the community.
Here's a comment that I want to read. Scarlett, a good debate is always intellectually healthy too.
Yes.
When someone is wrong, everyone learns. What I was reading in my mind was when everyone feels like they're learning something, or when everyone feels a little bit like they're wrong and they're kind of questioning their opinions and stuff. See, it's about like what you were saying. And I think it was Nate, but like what's worth talking about, what's not. Or maybe you were saying that, Todd. Yeah, in the expert thing, to me it's easy. Like I know. For me, it's very easy. If someone's bothering me, or if you don't want to like egg someone on, you ignore them, right?
Yeah.
Mhm.
Not a lot of people follow that
Don't
advice.
poke the
But
bear.
anyways, it's easy for me to follow that advice.
Yeah.
But I know like pretty quickly in a conversation, if it's worth talking about certain topics or not. I'm not going to just open my mouth and talk about certain things unless I kind of know the vibe of, is this going to be a fun back and forth, intellectual, fair?
Right. Know your
Are
audience
we going
kind
to
of
listen
thing.
to each other's points even if we disagree, or is it just going to be a complaining, shouting match and a shutdown match? You know what I mean? And then if I know that's likely going to happen, then I'm not going to talk about those things. I'm not even going to start, you know.
JD Ken has a good point here. He says, how do you think those poor comedians at work and people start heckling them? That's kind of part of the work environment, though. If you're a stand-up comedian, heckling is just part of the job. I mean,
well, okay, that's interesting. Heckling has different definitions too, how far you take that. Yeah. I've had some comedians, I've gone to a lot of shows, and they even they're like, well, you can heckle me, you can do certain things, but I don't know. That's an interesting one. I definitely agree.
Yeah, there are some comedians, especially lately, that thrive on the crowd work side.
Oh,
the crowd work is part of their act.
Yeah.
Yes.
And some don't.
It just depends on the comedian, what their strategy is when they go up on stage. But I would say that's definitely part of the work environment there. It's a little bit different. I mean, I don't think DMG is waiting to be heckled when he's just trying to communicate to the community what, you know, it's just trying to keep the conversation, keep the dialogue open, you know? And, I don't know, man.
The other thing that I took from when he was saying, like, sometimes this job is hard and things like that, I'm sure it affects them somewhat. Like, it's not like, I joked before, like, things don't really affect me that much, but it's still going to do a little bit, maybe just not as much as other people. But with him, I took that more like, I mean, the fact that he's still doing this job for this long, he's got to have somewhat of a wall to be able to somewhat ignore the harsh comments. So I took him saying that more of like, he wish he could tell us more, but he can't yet. Mm-hmm. So that's why it's hard right now. It's just hard that he can't really say anything. Not so much it's hard because people were yelling back at him, but at least that's how I hope what he meant by that.
That's another reason I got off. You can go ahead.
So one of my early on jobs, I did tech support, internet tech support, and if anyone's been on that in that field, I remember in the first training that I went through, and the lead walks up and says, "I'm going to get this out of the way right now. No one ever calls to tell you everything's going to be everything's working.
Everything's fine.
That everything's fine, right? If this is this is going to be your job every day. If you are not okay with that, there is no shame. There's the door. No one will think any bad about you. So
what were you going to say, Tajo?
Yeah, I was going to say that what Kingsley was talking about towards the end there is another reason why I disconnected. Is you can't read emotion through text.
Nope, context.
Like face to face is like you can get a feel for what the person's saying. You can pick up on the little mannerisms.
No sarcasm.
You can judge it a little better. You know, it's so hard for that to come across in text how you want it to come across.
I've had to censor myself when I respond to friends in Discord, because the way I'm Gen X and the way we treat our friends is we rag on them. So we'll be a little smartassery, or we'll be very sarcastic in our comments. The problem is no one knows if you're being sarcastic or not. And people can definitely take that out of context. And so I've had to censor myself and think about how to respond when I'm responding to someone saying a message in Discord, because they don't understand where my mindset is when I'm saying that. Right. So yeah, I totally agree, Tajo.
I get that. I'll over worry and use little emojis that usually try to indicate
emojis help.
Sarcasm or different things like that.
Yeah, emojis help.
You never know still.
Yeah.
People
it goes more so onto what the person reading it is feeling.
Yeah.
Because that emotion is almost what you read out of whatever's written.
How they perceive what state of mind they're in makes a big difference too, and how they perceive things. Everybody has their filter, man. That's for sure. Well, Nate, that was a great topic, man. I think we needed to hear that tonight too. Was there something else you wanted to mention? Forget anything?
Yeah, I think we're good. Like I said, I could go on this one for all.
Yeah, me
we've
too.
done as the org, we've done entire episodes on just this.
Oh, so. I bet, and I just think it was worth talking about tonight, especially because of the frustration in the Destiny community right now, because they've gone radio silent. They're not saying anything. And we're not used to that. We're used to them telling us what's going to be in the season, which I hated. I want to be surprised when they pop that season. I want to, whatever update's coming. I don't want to know about how everything. I want to be surprised. So anyway. Okay. Well, we'll leave it there. Thank you, Nate. Appreciate you, buddy.
Aye.
All right. You know what? We're going to check in with Bungie, speaking of which, real quick here, with just a very, very short Bungie roundup. Be right back. All right, hold on one sec. It's my hour for nose spray. Starting to feel a congestion.
If it's cool, I'm gonna run to the bathroom and get a drink real quick.
Go for it.
All right, be back in a
This would
second.
definitely be the time to do it if you need to take a bathroom break. Somebody talking some twab
Yep,
stuff.
I'll be right back too.
Sounds good.
Me too.
Okay. Fine, I'll do it solo.
You know, I've never cared about Twid
No,
stuff.
you don't, but there was a community thing I wanted to mention. So
Oh, I'm mostly joking. I'll be
I
here.
know.
Yep.
Okay. There we go.
I'll back you up.
Okay. All right. This week in Destiny for April 30th, 2026. And if you guys are listening every week, you probably noticed I didn't talk about Bungie last week. There was no, they did have a TWAB last week, but let's face it, Bungie's not really saying much right now. And I figured, there was really nothing to mention in last week's TWAB, but this week I did want to mention there is a community challenge going on. It's called the Commander's Orders Escalated, and they say Guardians from all over the globe have come together to take on the most recent community challenge, and this probably started last week, and I just failed to mention it, so I want to make sure I mention it this week. It's been amazing to see how fast you've all banded together to arm yourself and take the fight to the Vanguard's enemies as you've blown the initial target goal out of the water. All this time, at the time of this article, you've defeated more than 21 million enemies already to earn the Commander's salute emblem shown below. And it's a very cool emblem, like gold and golden tones and stuff. But we're not done yet. Because of how amazing you all have been doing, we've decided to add a new emblem to earn with extra goal for reaching the new community goal of 50 million PvE enemy defeats using Zavala's selected weapons. That's the key. You'll earn the gold stars emblem shown below, which is really nice too. It's actually pretty nice too. Everyone who has contributed to the original goal of 15 million kills using Zavala's selected weapons for this challenge will earn the Commander's Salute emblem shown above. Additionally, anyone who helps getting the 50 million kills using those weapons will earn the Commander's Salute emblem as well as the gold stars emblem. Need a reminder of what weapons to contribute to this challenge? Here's the list. It's Mint Retrograde, the Unfall Micro Missile, Together Forever Frame Sidearm, Mida Macro Tool, the Precision Mida Synergy Frame Shotgun, Hawthorne's Field Forward Shotgun, the Psi Eterna 4, the Micro Missile Frame Pulse Rifle. I think that's the ARC one. Horror's Lease, the Rapid Fire Frame Pulse Rifle, and a Good Shout, the Heavy Combat Bow. Yeah, I didn't mention this last week, but that was the community challenge for last week, but they're continuing it. You can get another emblem. So if anything, log in, grab your Mint Retrograde, go shoot 3 enemies, and then log out. You've contributed, technically. So there's no timer on it. You just have to kill something with one of those weapons. So I'll probably do it. If we do raid this Saturday, I'll probably just do that real quick. Active and upcoming activities in Destiny. Ongoing to May 5th is the community challenge we mentioned, Commander's Orders. The Crucible Portal playlist, Lockdown 4v4, Crucible Legacy playlist 3v3, Quick Play Lockdown 6v6, Quick Play Clash, Grandmaster Vanguard Alert, activity is Warden of Nothing, reward is the Grenade Launcher. May 1st to May 5th, Trials of Osiris is Javelin 4, and the Immortal is the weapon. And that's pretty much it. I mean, basically what I think what you can comment here if you want, Kingsley. I think they're just trying to keep people busy with something until the June update. Wouldn't you agree?
I mean,
okay, maybe not.
if this is the best I can do.
They're doing something.
Yeah.
Okay. I was doing some back of the envelope math. How long does this community challenge go for a week?
Yeah,
The 50 million one?
May 5th.
Even with the low population we're having,
Mhm.
so I'm looking at popularity report, 170,000 is like the highest we get right now
Right. Oh,
for all
wow.
platforms
So
together.
it's not moving. I mean,
Only if every person that logged on, because those are all actual people logging on, even if we didn't count it over a week, everyone only has to kill 290 enemies each to reach the 50 million goal. So it's not that hard.
yeah. I'm
No.
sure they realize, but I mean,
They always, no, that's the thing. Companies will do this, and they rightly should. Like they do it based on the population, and they're going to make goals that are somewhat attainable. Because if they make a goal that's not obtainable, then people will be sad if it doesn't get reached.
I just want to make sure I mention the community challenge because I failed to mention it last week. So there you go. That's what's going on with Bungie and Destiny 2 this week coming up, and that does run until May 5th, by the way. So log on, grab your Mint Retrograde, and go shoot some enemies in the face, and maybe play a strike or something. You're good to go.
You know what I'd love to see? I'd love to see a developer put out a challenge like this with a really high number, and then like when it doesn't get met, go, well, guess we're not doing that. Move on.
I think that's what would happen.
I mean, I would respect it, but then imagine the outcry.
Yeah. I'm only working.
You
made it
teach you not to play for next one.
Yeah.
It'll teach you not to play. There you go.
Yeah.
That's kind of a good point.
Just have the number like one below what it needed to be, just to really piss people off.
Oh my God.
Oh man, that'd be hilarious.
They need to round it up for sure. All right. I just want to mention that is the Bungie roundup for this week. All right. Let's get on to my last topic here. Okay. I think I'm good to go. All right. Here we go. All right, for the final topic of the night, there's a trend I'm hearing more about in 2026, and actually over the last few years, to be honest, when it comes to the games industry, and I want to talk about it a little bit tonight. I remember the time and the place. It was March of 1982. Stay with me. Those of you who have listened to the podcast for years now, you remember this reference, but my 14-year-old self was with my dad standing in line out of the Sears department store, garden and tool department. The line was so long. I remember I was standing in line and it was actually snaking into the actual parking lot of Sears. And it just so happens that was the fastest way to the toy department. And Atari at the time had the hottest console out in the market. And we were all waiting to get a chance to buy the new Pac-Man cartridge. From the spot we had in line, I didn't think the odds were in our favor, but somehow, some way, after 2 hours of waiting in line in the heat, I got it. I remember I couldn't wait to get home and jam it into the console and start playing it. It's funny. I was across the parking lot just 2 years earlier at the General Cinema 2 Theater in Altamont Springs, Florida. I was waiting in line to see the new Star Wars movie, The Empire Strikes Back. My point is, we stood in lots of lines in the 80s, something we don't see much anymore. At least when it comes to like consumer goods or movie theaters. I mean, everything is delivered to our door in a day. And movie seats you can reserve by just clicking on the seat on your app on your phone. No more first come, first served and hoping you didn't get the crappy seats in the back once you got into the theater. It's probably why us Gen Xers seem to be more patient than our younger generations these days. We've been in the trenches. Now, I'm not going to sit here and tell you how we went to school uphill in the snow, but it's amazing. It's amazing how much things have changed since then. And what I want to talk about tonight is how the gaming industry has changed all these years. And there's one thing I'm noticing more and more these days. Independent gaming studios are frickin' killing it right now. Now, in the past, I didn't give indie studios much attention. They usually make games that felt very retro, like side scrollers, pretty basic graphics. And it was usually the art style that got people to buy it. My first try of a more modern indie game was during the hurricane 2 years ago when my power went out. And for a week, I was forced to look into my phone to see what I could play to pass the time while we ran on candle power at the time. That game was Balatro. What a fantastic game. It's so simple at first. But once you see all the systems at play and then realize that one person made that game, let's just say it got my attention. Then came Clair Obscur. Kingsley, you turned me on to that game. It not only dominated the Game Awards, but it only was made with a base studio of 33 employees. What the hell? I couldn't believe it when I heard that. Now here we are in 2026, and games like Winrose, which was the developers called Winrose Crew, 60 employees. You got Greystone Warfare, that's Madfinger Games, has 71 employees. Pal World, which our buddy Native Raider knows a lot about. Pocket Pair has 55 employees. Valheim, which is Iron Gate Studio, 16 employees. Helldivers 2, which is probably one of the biggest independents out there. That's Arrowhead, 140 employees. And you got Terraria with 11 employees, and Pacific Drive, which is Ironwood Studios, 20 employees. All very successful games right now on very small budgets. Now let's compare.
Dispatch was another one.
Yeah, I mean, there's many out there. That's just the ones I was researching last night. Now let's compare that with the big AAA gaming studios and their projects. You ready to hear this? Skull and Bones. Sorry, I'm gonna be picking on Ubisoft a little bit tonight, Kingsley. I know this is your baby. Skull and Bones.
Skull and Bones.
$200 million originally, but over the last 11 years, they've spent $650 to $800 million with that game. Star Wars Outlaws, which is also Ubisoft, $200 million budget, plus $300 million in licensing fees, including Disney, which is considered one of the highest licensing fees for a game. Then you have Sony, Marvel's Spider-Man 2, $300 million they spent to develop that game with a team of over 500 people, not including they had to have high licensing fees to Marvel. We all know about Concord, $200 to $400 million spent over 8 years of dev time, only to be shut down 2 weeks later. The Last of Us 2, $220 million. Horizon Forbidden West, $212 million. These are from sourced leaked documents. And that didn't include any marketing costs, by the way. Then you got Warner Brothers Games, Suicide Squad, $200 million loss. Microsoft, Halo Infinite, $500 million. Also, they used some of that money to create the new Slip Space engine, just to be fair. Starfield, $200 to $400 million. And again, another 500-person studio and 8 years of dev time. And then the granddaddy of them all, Rockstar Games, GTA 6, which is supposed to come out this fall. They have estimated costs between $1 and $2 billion in dev and marketing cost. Now you can see why the gaming industry is laying off so many employees. In fact, 40,000 people have been laid off in the last few years. 2024 was the biggest correction from COVID. But I was researching how much Bungie spends on their 2 IPs, and it's been estimated that they have a burn rate of $1.5 million a day. Think about that. I mean, with 800 employees, it adds up. Marathon has an estimated total project cost of $400 to $500 million due to reboots and delays. I mean, it's been scrapped and restarted twice now. Let's talk about Destiny 2. If you account for 2017 to today, just the Destiny 2 game, Bungie has spent over $1 billion over its 9-year lifespan, which includes costs to make annual expansions, seasonal content, and the massive server and infrastructure maintenance required for a global live service game. The original dev cost of the initial game, they were estimating to be between $100 and $200 million back in 2017. You can see why Sony claimed a $204 million impairment loss back last year. It just makes sense to me that the days of the giant gaming studios dominating the industry like Atari back in the day are about to see some massive changes within the industry. I mean, how long can these big devs be too big to fail? How long will these games last, and will publishers start to cut down budgets even more? Will even smaller studios enter the market and change the industry for the better? So far, what I'm seeing, it looks good. Now, I heard someone talking about Arc Raiders the other day and how it only cost them a total of $75 million to make that game. That's an amazing game. And the scale of the maps, the size of everything is enormous. The team from Embark that were behind the game numbered about 70 people, by the way. It's been said that Embark leaned into procedural generation, photogrammetry, which what they do is they use real life photos to create 3D assets for the game. And they have a lot of AI assisted production tools to automate all the boring tasks like object placement and texturing. So maybe AI is already capable of creating opportunities for those smaller studios to compete with the big boys. Arc Raiders, by the way, generated $500 million in its first few months. They reached profitability almost immediately when they sold the game. It's also been said that Arc Raiders only took 3 years to make. 3 years. That's half of the time that it takes most games to make. I'm really excited if that's the case for future games. I'm excited to see how quickly AI might start cranking out games. It's a quantum leap from those days of waiting in line for those console cartridges. I mean, maybe that'll be a future topic I talk about, but we'll have to see, I guess.
We could get into that.
Yeah. I mean, there's a lot to cover. But here's my question to you guys tonight. With those game studios that I mentioned, with those very small budgets and very small employee numbers, is this the way things are going to shift for the future of gaming? Are we going to see more and more killer games from these small studios? And what's going to happen to these giant mammoth gaming studios and publishers out there? I'm just curious what you guys think about this information that I laid out tonight. What do you guys think?
Well, there's one thing I find very similar between the games that have these ballooned budgets and the games that don't, with these smaller teams, and that being the live service model. I think the live service model has been a huge dragon to chase, and no one's really doing it well. And all it's doing is just burning, like you said, Bungie's burning $1.5 million a
day.
Even if it's a month, that is just an absurd number. And while Arc Raiders is currently doing good, if the population ever falls off, they still got to maintain servers. They've still got to maintain, you can't take a step back and rest. They've got to be working on the next thing, the next drop, the next weapon, the next whatever.
Right.
There's a common used phrase from a fellow podcaster we know, 30 and Still Gaming. Make a game, sell a game. And that's how it was back in the cartridge days. You had to get it right the first time. There was no over-the-air updates. There was no, we'll patch this later. It was what it was. You made it, you sold it, and not, it ended up in a landfill.
Yeah. Yep. I mean, it just seems like making games other than just side scroller independent games, it's just totally different now with AI being involved. I didn't think we were there yet, to be honest. And when I heard what Arc Raiders has already been doing, like they have machine learning with their enemies, and their enemies will flail. You shoot and kill them and they'll flail like a human and try to stay alive and still try to come at you. They get even madder. I mean, it's unlike anything I've ever seen, man. It's probably why I'm so into that game right now. But what do you guys think, Tajo or Kingsley?
Yeah. Go ahead. No, I'll go last.
Yeah. Well, I don't choose games based on the companies, mostly because I forget the company names. So it just doesn't really stick with me.
I got you, man.
And I rarely play new games, even if they look really good and get my attention, because I'm so stingy with my money. I almost rather watch somebody play a game than play it myself.
Wow. Okay.
But on that topic of what you're saying, I do agree that it seems that indie games lately have had more success, and that could also just be there's not as much expectation. When there's less expectation, people are more forgiving to mistakes, and you can kind of enjoy the good a little bit more than focusing on the bad.
I mean, I was just blown away when I did that little bit of research on Arc Raiders, because that game reminds me of the Battlefield days, and I know they spent a lot more than $75 million to make those games. They spent hundreds of millions of dollars back then. But what do you think, Kingsley? What do you think of all this?
Yeah. I definitely think there's some points we're not really seeing the big picture here. It's very popular to say indie games are doing better right now, but I don't believe that's always the case. I just think we're talking about it more now. I've been playing indie games since the 80s and the 90s.
Okay.
Games like Sierra. Bungie used to be an indie studio. Old small little games that were made on the Apple II computers.
I remember Sierra.
Things like that.
Yeah. And
I feel like indie games have always been competitive. Always. Yeah. I don't care about who the studio is either. I just buy a game versus if I like it or not. I want to know like the percentage. And I did some quick looking up online. Did you know, you were just talking about the big studios that weren't making it, but did you know that some numbers between 90 to 95% of indie games don't actually come out? They don't make money or they lose money.
They don't, and I read about this too. There's $100 listing fee on Steam, and some of them don't even make the $100 back. That's true.
Yep.
Yeah,
it's very true.
So I wouldn't necessarily say that indie games are doing better, but I'm not trying to put that down either, that they're bad. I love indie games. Again, I don't really.
Maybe they're not. Maybe they're the status quo is still the status quo, but maybe they're just getting more attention now. I mean, like Winrose.
It's a trendy thing right now.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And I'm not saying that in a bad way. I'm really not. But it's a popular opinion.
I didn't take it that way.
Yeah.
I didn't take it that way.
Yeah. And I love indie game studios. I like big games if they're right for me. I also think if a big game loses money and then, lays off employees, it's a little bit more on the corporate greed side than the fault of the game. Indie games, they don't do good, and that's a better reason for.
There's hardly any budget, so it's no big deal. I mean, Balatro has made one guy. I mean, practically he had zero cost because it was just his time making the program and putting the program together. So I mean, I think he's
Flappy Bird all over again.
He sold
until
10,
we find out. Yeah, until we find out like maybe percentage, like we find out like someone comes out with stats this year or next year, and like of the top 20 games that made a lot of money, what's the percentage of indie games versus, and I don't even really care.
Well,
I mean, if indie games are going to have more, great for them, but then they're not going to stay indie probably.
Well,
you know what I mean?
You know what I think it comes. You know what I think it comes down to, Kingsley. It's independent games that are thinking outside the box and not making the same old thing, because that's what the corporate companies are doing right now. They're making the same Call of Duty.
Not all of them. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Mm-hmm.
I may be generalizing, but I mean, I see it. I feel like we're in a plateau right now when it comes to the major AAA games. I don't see I don't see anything that's really
you haven't played.
No, I mean, I'm just not. I mean, I watch videos all the time on all different games, even the new Saros and the one the dad shooter, whatever they call it, the boomer shooter, the one with the kid on your back. But
Pragmata.
I mean, Pragmata, yeah. And I mean,
and remember, we've used arguments in the past that we can't judge how good a game is based on how much money it makes. Yet you were using that argument earlier. Yeah. I'll tell you, the Star Wars Outlaws game is an amazing game, even though it didn't make a lot of money.
I just wonder if they had a smaller team that made that game with not such a high budget, would have given more? I mean, I don't know. Maybe not.
Yeah, and where do you draw the line? What's indie? Do you have to have less than 200 employees? Do you have to, you know what I mean? Like, I don't really care. That's the point I'm making.
Yeah, I mean, ultimately, as gamers, we only.
I love indie games, but I don't think it's as big of a deal as some people are making it out to be. Just find a game you like, support studios that you like, and stuff like that. And I still think there's more indie games that fail than big games that fail, but I love it when games make it.
Yeah. I mean, I honestly, I don't care what studio made it either. Only reason I really adore Arc Raiders and Embark Studios is because Soderlund's there, and he's the god.
Indie?
I don't know, but they're a 70-man team. I don't know. Was that indie? I mean, they're owned by Nexon. They're owned by Nexon, but they're an independent studio making this Arc Raiders game, and they're using a lot of tools that a lot of other studios are maybe not dipping their feet into yet. And just the fact, the machine learning, all the different things they're using AI for. I know they got hounded for the AI voices, and I agree. The voices, I think they use real voice actors, but I guess they use AI to generate the actual text. I don't know, whatever. But I don't really care. I don't really care about that. Is the game fun to play, and is it good? That's all I really care about. And I don't really care about the studio, but the reason Soderlund is, dude, he's the OG when it came to Battlefield 3 and Battlefield 4. I can see the maps. I can see all of that tenure and love they've put into these giant Arc Raiders maps, and it just is blowing me away, man. It's bringing back Battlefield 3 and Battlefield 4 vibes to me. Yeah, exactly. And the Battlefield games after that, you could tell someone else was at the wheel because they were very smaller maps. They were very Call of Duty-ish looking. They did not have the soul of the old Battlefield game. And I think it's the reason why they've been
It's the
struggling.
Bungie 343 argument all over again.
Yeah,
Like every Bungie
so that-
game has that feel to it. So yeah,
Yeah.
when there are certain people you can tell their fingerprints are on it.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah, and if you can't keep it going, you should move on to another game. I mean the studio too. I don't mean just us. Yeah.
You know, and that being said, about me, praising all these smaller companies that are making killer games right now, there's been speculation that the major gaming journalism companies out there have not been covering them as much as they do the big guys that have the money to pay
That's
for.
probably true. That's always been
that
true.
question just answered itself now, didn't it?
Yeah.
Money.
Like true though forever. That's kind of a different topic. Like yeah. Money. That's basically what it comes down to.
Sure. But I just I just wonder if more and more studios out there that are not making good games start to realize that and start to learn from what Embark's doing, making their game. And maybe Embark's not considered an indie studio. I think they're an indie studio, but there is a company that is giving them all the autonomy to do what they want with Nexon. And that's a South Korean company, I think, and they're not that kind of company. They're very much, from what I've heard, they're very gotcha game oriented studio. They're all about monetization.
Like having NetEase back you or something like that, right?
Exactly.
It happens.
But I think Nexon is watching ARC Raiders and saying, man, they're killing it. Just leave them alone and just bring in the money. I mean, 500 million.
Yeah, that's a whole different, that's a whole different mindset that I wish a lot of, back in the day, the Sonys, the Activisions, the Blizzards, all of the world, is let them cook. Let the devs make games. Don't quit chasing past successes and forcing, how many Battlefields have we had now that it's just beaten to death? How many Call of Duties have we had that it's beaten to death? How many of the Need for Speed franchise where it's just like, my God, I can't even, I'm not even interested in a new one that comes out, anything with Need for Speed on it anymore, because it's just beaten to hell. Madden, any sports game, they're chasing that recurring money, and they're not doing enough to earn my money back. To earn that recurring revenue. Just because you slap Star Wars face paint on it, and again, I'm gonna knock Renegades for this. Just because you slap some Star Wars face paint on it doesn't make it the next greatest thing, and they're gonna see right through that bullshit.
But think about it. The gaming industry is in the same boat as the Hollywood studio industry right now. Mm-hmm. They're only investors are only going to invest in safe bets. They're only going to invest in games.
They'd rather make Kung Fu Panda 5 instead of a new movie.
Every time I see a new Mario movie, I'm like, I just roll my eyes. I'm like, there's a money grab. What else can they talk about in Mario movies? Come on, man.
They're making another Matrix. Did you hear this one?
What?
Yeah.
Well, they made Revolutions, and that was a total crapshoot. I mean, that game. That movie was terrible.
It's got the Matrix name on it, whole new director and everything. It's not even the Wachowskis.
It's not even the brothers. Oh my gosh, sisters, I should say. Wow. See, but there's a thing, man. The investors are calling the shots. The studios are looking up at the investors and seeing how they're going to react to a new game they just released, and if they're going to make a new game, they're going to make sure that it's going to be something that grabs people's attention. Oh, another Call of Duty. Bye.
And I think that's the difference between your indie game versus AAA studios argument. It's not so much we need these we need people to let go of the reins and just take some gambles. You have the money.
Yeah.
Take some gambles. You could end up with a No Man's Sky.
Yeah,
you could
I'll
end
be
with a
talking about
Concord.
2 games later on that are big studios and big games, and they're doing it's. I'm giving them glowing reviews a little bit later, so it can happen.
Yeah, I mean, I think what we're going to see is the independent studios that are breaking the mold and making something intuitive, making something that's inventive, something that we haven't seen before. Or giving the players, listening to the players and giving them the game that they want are the ones that are going to break that $100 mold. And the fact that they have such small budgets means they got nothing to lose. But these big studios putting $500 million into a marathon game and then only selling 1.5 million copies. That's a risk.
No one knows if it was 500 million.
No, 500 million is what Arc Raiders sold in the first month. They were cash positive. I mean, they only spent 75 million. I don't know what they spent.
No, what you meant, like what they put into making Marathon.
It's speculated two to 400 million. It's all speculation. I mean, they don't release their numbers, so 2 to 400 million. That's a big swath, but still, 200 million is a lot of money, man. That's movie money. That's major movie money.
Normal for a lot of games, like even some indie studios, they really do get investors, and it could cost several million to make games there too.
Yeah. I mean, like the Iron Lung movie, and I didn't watch it, and I got mixed reviews, but Markiplier, spent $8 million making that movie, and he made like $58 million, even though it wasn't a super, $1 billion success but because the budget was so small, he still made a killing on it. And apparently it was a decent movie. It was, if you definitely know the video game, you definitely understood the movie, but that's beside the point. But it just seems like the innovation's coming from the smaller studios now. It's not coming from the big studios. We're getting the same thing from the big studios, and the reason why people aren't buying them anymore, and why Concords took such a dive. Nobody wanted that game. They saw that game and went, I've seen that game 1 million times already, and what's the difference between this game that makes it so much better? And the fans told him right then and there, you didn't hit it. You missed the boat on this one, guys. Who were you listening to when you made this game? Anyway, I can go off on that, but Taja, I know I don't know if you've been wanting to talk here or not, man, but did you have any other comments on this, the indie studios and stuff out there?
No, I mean, like I said towards the beginning, I don't really keep up with it, and it has to really grab my attention for me to play. Like, I haven't even played Arc Raiders or nothing.
Oh, dude,
like,
such a good game.
It just, I mean, it looks cool, but it looks like something I would put down after one time playing it.
Okay. Yeah, see, a lot of people are turned off from Arc Raiders because it's got that name, extraction shooter, on it. The actual extraction shooter part of the game is fun. It's the PvP element that I think is going to ruin it if they don't change something down the road. But I talked about that last week. Don't need to talk about it this week. All right. Thank you guys for listening. I just needed a vent on that because I was just doing a little research on these indie studios that are just killing it right now. And I think Winrow's huge success, and it's it basically you're playing pirate. I mean, things I love to do as a kid.
Is indie though. I'll put my foot down on that. And also, hopefully, you're the 5% that makes it of the indie studios.
Yeah, that's very true. There's 20,000 games every year released now on Steam. People only have so much time, so there's no way 20,000 games are all going to be successful. And let's face it, if you're making something that's exactly the same as something else they've already seen, it's not very inventive. There's nothing new, or there's not something that's really hooking players that gives them that immediate reward. Then they don't deserve to be, profitable. Amazing Taco King screaming at the wall here. I want to at least mention a couple of things he said. I only care about a studio based on how they treat their IPs and their current monetization and their modern and future business monetization. People are getting really tired of monetization in games. I have zero faith in NetEase and Nexon because of how they killed the past successful games because they didn't vibe with their home Korean and Chinese markets. Okay. I think it's like music. JD Kent says we are overdue for a new sound, grunge or British invasion. Okay. I understand where you're coming from there.
Nice.
Amazing Taco King. No one can be the cutting edge forever. And all these studios have made names for themselves, are just overworked and undermanned with no leadership. Also, the indie studios seem to be real artists or storytellers. They got sick of the corporate interference in the industry. And yeah, there was something else I was reading. They did a survey at the Game Developers Conference, and they said that 40% of the people that they interviewed said they are are thinking about leaving the industry because of how cutthroat it is right now, and how there's a big brain drain when it comes to the development and the innovators out there, the people who, and usually what happens is that, I mean, it's just like my business, man. I work for my uncle. I knew I could do it better. I knew I could provide better service for my pest control clients. So I broke off and did my own thing. And here I am 32 years later, still making a living doing it. and I'm loving it. I'm love doing it. Imagine an independent studio that does that, who loves what they make. And I mean, I think Balatro sold like 10 million copies of what's it? I'm trying to think of the something Thump. The studio that made it. Anyway, it was one person, by the way. Sold 10 million copies within, I think, the first 5 months of that game being released. So yeah, he's rich. So, and that was something very innovative. So maybe we'll see what comes out in the future here. I'm optimistic. I'm really waiting for that next level of games. I'm really waiting to see, and I'm really curious what AI is going to do for game development down the road, and if people are going to be looking at Arc Raiders and Embark Studios and following their lead. Okay, like I said, I could talk about that. I could talk about that all show as well. So hey, let's catch up. Let's get back and talk and see how everybody's doing in their life right after this. Yeah, thanks for indulging me, guys. I love that topic.
Yeah, I tell you, it's like the smaller games is probably the only reason I still have Xbox Game Pass.
Really? Because you can try the independents without risk free, you know? Because you already paid the 15 for the month or whatever it is. So
yeah, well, it went up and it came back down again. So
yeah. Okay. All right. You know what, Nate? We'll go to you first, man. We'll go to you first.
Uh-oh.
Here we go. All right, ladies and gentlemen, it's that time of our show where we just kind of kick back and just, catch up with everybody, see what they've been doing since we talked with them last. And it's been a long time since we talked to Nate. So let's start with you, NateFOO. What have you been doing in your life, man? What's been going on? How's life treating you? And what have you been playing anything? You been watching anything? Fill us in, man.
I've been playing a little bit of everything.
Okay.
Just over the break, I was just saying, with the all these indie games and stuff, and the big studios and all that. It's like the only reason I keep my Game Pass subscription alive is, just every now and then I get a little game that comes up, and I go, that looks interesting. I'll try it, and if it's good, I'll keep it. If not, I'll just move on to the next one. And it's got a pretty good rotation going. So right now I'm playing this Aphelion. It's a Dontnod game. And I don't know. Like I'm very glad I didn't spend money on it. It's a beautiful game, but it looks open world, but it's the most on rails experience I've probably ever had. So,
Okay.
But yeah, no, it's just, been doing the same job for 21 years. I've got my kids are growing up. I think the last time I was on, they would have been, 2 and 3 years old. So now they're, 9 and 8.
Jeez.
Been a while. Yeah.
It's been a while.
And they're getting into gaming, and they're getting into TV and whatnot. So it's just like what I can watch, now they know what they're looking at. So, I can't be playing GTA in front of them.
Now, here's the question. Are you like Ronan? Are you giving them a broken controller where they think they're playing, or are they actually playing with a controller now?
Oh, they're actually playing.
Nice.
They're all about chore core games right now, and it's hilarious because they'll be playing, and I've got my youngest is the absolute worst troll ever. We'll be playing a game, and she just, and again, it's the ADHD. She's just like, I'm bored doing this customer service crap. I'm just gonna go break the back wall down and make everything escape. And I'm like, okay. But the oldest is just like, what are you doing? And then she just gets chucked across the room, and good times. But yeah, I mean, it's that. I think I've reached out to you a few times, because whenever you do like the end of like the big landmark episodes, you've gone back in the past and pulled sound clips from back episodes.
Yeah, that's right.
My first appearance on the show was a doozy.
We broke Nate.
Yeah, we broke Nate. We lost Nate.
Nate had drank so much wine that night. You were sliding out of your chair, man. It was hilarious.
Wine, whiskey, yeah.
Oh my God.
And that's it's just funny, because that's actually something I haven't had a drink since the end of October.
Outstanding.
So that's been a journey.
Yeah, my brother was an alcoholic, and he's
Yes.
I think he's gone 3 years now. That's awesome.
Congrats.
Dude.
Yeah.
That is fantastic.
Huge.
He's very proud when he gets his chips from AA. His little coins, little chips.
Yep.
It's pretty cool, man. Hell, good for you, man. I'm glad to hear that, man. I'm really glad to hear that.
Yeah, it was just, it was making me do stupid things. And it was, when I when I was responsible with it, as you saw, sliding out of my chair.
Yeah.
That was happening more and more often. And it's like, again, the reality is I got kids that they're going to come home, and, my mother was an alcoholic, and that's what it ended up being the end of her.
Mm-hmm.
And here I am, like I'm remembering times that I came home from school and literally had to step over her in the hallway because she's passed out in it. And it's like, I'm watching me, from an outside perspective going, I'm doing that, and I don't want to do that. And it's been difficult. I'm married to a Jewish woman, so you can imagine how Passover goes with me being the sober one, and the wine's flowing freely, and
I hear you.
So,
it doesn't matter if it's drinking alcohol or playing video games. I mean, addiction's addiction. And when you look up and you're not spending time with your family because you're so sunk in on a video game and you can't seem to stop playing, it's the same thing. I mean, as long as I think realizing that you have a problem is such a hard step. Denial's a bitch, man. Denial's a bitch. You can tell yourself that, everything you're doing is fine because, you deserve the time to get away from reality and play that video game.
I've earned this, or I need,
exactly. And once you come to terms that, it is affecting others in your life as well as you, it's a good first step, man. I'm glad to hear you're in remission, man. I love to hear that. I love to hear that, dude.
Yeah.
Excellent.
It's, a lot of people ask how, when I'm around, because my sister owns a pub out here, and again with the holidays and whatnot, and they're like, how do you manage? And my word of advice to anyone that's starting the journey, is thinking about going on that journey and trying to clean their act up, and it doesn't matter what it is. If you're in that cycle and you're in that vicious cycle, it is a lot easier to say no than it is to say no more.
Yeah. Yeah. How is, kind of on that topic is, how's things going with Guardians Mental Health right now? Are they got anything going on right now? Any activities or events coming up?
We are doing good. We actually just had a Bungie Foundation re-released the Love is the Mind Saver emblem for us, and they actually put a pin out.
Okay.
By the time this episode airs, unless
it'll
it's
be
in
Monday.
the next 4 hours.
It'll be Monday.
Yeah.
Or it's
you will
live.
have missed the deadline too. But yeah, they actually have a pin now. That the proceeds go to help the cause, and I mean we're doing what we can to get the message out there.
Nice.
And like I said earlier, with my shameless plug, we're spinning up the mental collab program, and this is basically we already have our ambassador program. I believe we have a few of them in this community here as well. But it's just, spreading the message, and it's giving streamers, content creators, Discord owners, basically people in the community tools that they can use to, like whether you want to admit it or not, you are a figurehead in this community. I know that's kind of tough to swallow sometimes, but with that comes, certain responsibilities and certain, I guess, circumstances where people are going to turn to you and people are going to open up to you on that gaming night because you're you're the guy that's always been there.
Yeah.
And basically what we're trying to do as an organization now is give back to the creators as well and help arm them to be prepared for those situations.
I got a little bit ahead of myself. For those of you who don't know what Guardians Mental Health is, could you just give them like a quick synopsis of what that is? I mean, how it started?
Well, it's, The name comes from basically we were all a
Destiny.
bunch of gamers in the Destiny space. It actually started out way back in the day as the Saint 14 project,
Right.
and then for obvious licensing issues, they changed the name, and ended up going through a couple of iterations. Ended up with Guardians Mental Health, much like this Guardian Roundtable.
Exactly.
We always
Rebranding.
right.
Yep.
Give homage to to our roots. But basically, the main focus has always been we go to the gaming conventions, PAXs, some of the cons, the Comic Cons, and stuff like that, and we bring our mental health kits, and it's a little like a grab bag, a little goodie bag, and it's got mental health resources in it, breathing exercises, fidget toys, stuff like that. And it's just, it's kind of something, you can hand it to someone and they open it up and it's they're useful tools, and it reminds people that, again, you're not alone. You're not the only one going through this, and here's some resources that you can reach out to. And it's been, it became especially important, over the COVID lockdown.
Definitely.
And that's when I got really heavily involved in it, because we were doing a lot, again, it was mainly for conventions. When those got shut down, we started to expand an online presence, and that's kind of my forte there.
Nice.
So they leaned on me for some of that stuff. But yeah, it's again, break the stigma. A lot of people are still afraid or ashamed, or like not many people like you and I that can just go, oh yeah, I'm diagnosed ADHD, or oh hey, I have a, one of my coworkers, best friend of mine, and it wasn't, I've known him for 27, 28 years now, and he only really started talking to me about his bipolar disorder in the last 4 or 5 years. And it's like, why didn't you talk to me about this sooner? And it was just, that machismo, male ego, pride, whatever you want to call it. It's just, he was ashamed to talk to me about it. Like, what would I know? And because I'm just, I'm so open about it myself, and I'll wear my merch I wear my merch to work. I'll wear my, Guardian's mental health bracelet or whatnot. And it's like the amount of conversations that have started amongst grown men that were just, it's like, and they'll never say it in front of the other coworkers, but they'll catch me over in the smoking area and go, hey, can I sit and talk with you for a minute?
That's awesome.
It's like, of course, of course.
Yeah. I mean, I can imagine a lot of the younger generations, some of them are really hurting right now. And we have a channel in our Discord called Vent It Out, and where people want to just blow some steam and just talk about something they're dealing with. And Chris 3711, which is a longtime member as well of our community, he gave us a bunch of resources as well, and it's called the We Got You channel. We kept it alive.
He was one of ours for a long time.
Exactly. And I think his job just kind of pulled himself away from. He's been so busy with his carpentry work for all the rich people up there in New England. But he gave us a kit a long time ago, a bunch of, there's a We Got You channel in our Discord that I'll never get rid of. So if anyone's ever having issues or really having some problems in their life, that We Got You channel in our Discord, you can go to there, and it just opens up a whole bunch of different things that Chris left for us. Probably some stuff that translates back into what you guys pass out in those goodie bags and stuff there, Nate. So
probably,
so good stuff, man. I love hearing that you're still involved with Guardians Mental Health and doing some good over there, man. Good on you. Yeah.
And besides that, like we don't do that podcast much anymore. And I don't really promote mine as much. Like I've been working with my buddy Tim, and we do our own podcast every other week as well.
Nice. Want to give it a plug?
It's The Fork in Your Ear.
Okay.
Old time community member, if you remember Buster Knuckle from way back in the day. Yeah. He used to be the co-host on that, which is how I found the cast, and I was a fan. And then one day he kind of rolled out, and I was a guest co-host for a long time.
I hear you.
Not to poke you in the ribs there.
I know.
And then eventually I ended up becoming the second host on the show. So
nice,
we've been doing that for a while, and you know, it keeps me busy. It keeps my brain fresh, and it keeps me from getting bored of work.
I hear you, brother. I hear you, man. Mr. Tajo Trade. It's been a while since we've talked to you too, man. I know we were all really into Destiny for a long time there, and we've all kind of taken a break from the Destiny game. But what else you been doing, man? What's going on in your life right now?
Well, as far as the gaming side, I recently just got a Switch 2, so I've been playing that, mostly Pokemon.
Okay.
And my wife started getting into it, so that's been something we've kind of
That's
been
always
bonding
good.
over with.
Hell yeah.
But
Gaming
yeah,
wives are the best.
and it can be. It can also be frustrating.
Is she competitive?
She is very competitive.
I got you.
But no, it's been fun to kind of, tinker with a new toy and, just see how much the graphics and everything have improved since the original. Then as far as
I was just gonna ask.
like
I was
the
just gonna ask you
Switch
that.
one.
Is it really a big jump from the original Switch?
Yeah,
Okay.
it's huge. Like
wow.
even handheld, it is so much better than
Okay.
a docked regular Switch.
Wow.
Yeah, it's a massive improvement.
That's awesome. It's good to hear.
And then as far as life side goes, nothing too crazy. I did buy a new motorcycle, which has been great.
Ooh, what kind?
It's a Honda Rebel 1100, but
Okay.
it's an automatic.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
We're
Which is
all getting
very-
the dad bikes, huh?
1100.
Which is very polarizing to the biking community.
Yes, because we love the clutch.
Oh no.
Which for what I do is mostly town riding, and like just from my house to work, I hit over a dozen stop signs in 4 miles.
Oh my
So
god.
I hated it.
Yeah.
I hated the clutch.
Send them my way. I literally just picked up the Kawasaki Z7 hybrid.
Nice.
But I love that motorcycle so much, and I love that it's an automatic, and it's almost twice the engine size as my old one.
1100 is pretty good size.
It's been fantastic.
Nice, man. I mean, I'm trying to. Did the glides with the Honda the Honda big Honda touring bikes? I think they're automatic too.
Goldwing?
Goldwings, yeah. Aren't those automatic or are those still clutch?
They can be.
I see.
They can be either.
Okay. I didn't know you rode too, Nate. That's awesome, man.
Yeah, recently that was, kind of recently got back into that with, funny enough, I was researching electric bikes because my commute to work it's 10 miles by highway, 8.5 by surface street. And I'm just going, why don't I just ride to work? And, I was looking at e-bikes, and eventually this little hybrid thing came across my, Kawasaki only made it for 1 year, and it bombed. So what used to be a $13,000 sticker I picked up for, $4,900. It's basically a Ninja 500 with a with an EV motor on the back of it.
That's awesome. I haven't really heard much about hybrid bikes, hybrid cars, but not hybrid bikes.
No clutch, no shifter, nothing. It's a paddle shifter, and it's got full automatic mode. It even has walk mode, so I can throttle it in reverse and forward.
Somehow it's got to have a torque converter somewhere in that engine compartment. That's weird. Okay, I'm trying to put my head around it.
I was out. I wasn't riding for almost 2 years just because my old bike broke down and it just wasn't worth fixing. And then a couple months ago, it just worked out. I seen that was off. It had the $4,000 discount because it was a previous year's model.
Jeez.
And I pulled the trigger, and in the 2 months I've had it, I've ridden it more than I did the first year I had the other one.
Nice.
That's awesome, man. I didn't know you rode.
Nothing like the feel of the wind in your hair, man. Especially
I know. I need to get in my bike.
Especially now that it's getting on summer.
I sold all my bikes.
I rode short sleeve for the first time a few days ago, and I got a horrible sunburn, but it was so nice.
It's the ultimate convertible, man. Yeah,
it is.
I never rode bikes. I rode dirt bikes and stuff. I was never allowed to have a bike on the road because I had an uncle that had such a bad accident. He had more metal in his body than actual bones. All the wipeouts he's had on the highways. I don't know how he's still alive, but my mom was so strict. I would never
Against it,
we'd never even look at
Yeah.
a bike that could drive on the road. And then a buddy of mine, that was working for me at the time, had a Harley Sportster 1200. And I said, you know, I haven't ridden a motorcycle in a long time. I don't even remember last time I rode one on a highway. He goes, here, take it down the street. And that was that. That was it. I bought a Sportster. Then I moved up into, no, that's not about me, but I moved way up into bikes. And then I got stupid on a Hayabusa. And I said, okay, I need to take a break from riding motorcycles for a little bit. And
Yeah,
I'll
will
come
get
back.
you.
I'll come back to it. But yeah, that's awesome, man. I didn't, Kingsley, did you ever ride a bike? You ever ride a motorcycle?
No,
Okay.
but I would if it's automatic, hybrid, or EV, because I don't do
I didn't-
shifting.
I didn't know they made
and
those.
especially that price you're mentioning, Nate. Like, oh,
Not bad.
I'd do that,
Yeah.
probably.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, I got
Yeah,
mine
they're-
for like $9,000 out the
Jeez.
door, roughly.
You can get some
There
good
it is.
deals.
Yeah, look at your Kawasaki dealer, man. They're 2024s, but they, like I said, they absolutely bombed. They made them the 1 year, and now they're just deep discount. And it is such a dad bike. It's a great little commuter.
Yeah.
I had a Kawasaki, I think it was called a Nomad.
Mm-hmm.
That was a great bike
So
too.
around here, I would probably actually prefer more though, like a dirt bike, because there's so many in Utah, great national parks and
Yeah.
trails you can go on and stuff.
Just get a
So
dual
it'd be
sport.
a tough decision, or maybe one that could do a little bit okay on both. You know what I mean?
Yeah, a dual
It
sport.
doesn't have to be like super street fast. So some good wheels, tires that could do okay and off roading too.
Yeah.
You know?
JD
Yeah.
Ken in chat said he drove a BMW touring bike that had an automatic transmission. I didn't know BMWs had those. That's awesome.
Well, I found out
Yeah.
that Honda has actually been doing it for like 20 years.
What?
They've just been getting it. Yeah. Like the dealer I would talk to, he said they've been around for like roughly 20 years. They just got more popular recently.
Yeah, and all the innovations they've done with the e-clutch now.
Yeah,
That e-clutch
yeah,
is
like-
it's gotten so good that they're thinking about making it standard equipment.
I mean,
I tell you what, whenever my bike shifts by itself, I almost don't even notice it. Like
Right.
it doesn't interfere with your riding at all, and I can still take off from a stoplight and hit 60 in 2 seconds and not even feel a single jolt. I mean,
Yep.
it's amazing.
wow. I wanted to mention Amazing Taco King is listening in the chat. He's 20,000 feet in the air on Wi-Fi on an airliner right now. That's amazing, man. That's some crazy shit right
you
there.
never done that, Todd?
The Wi-Fi never works. Every time I get on a plane, the Wi-Fi sucks. It's always broken. Every time I've been on a flight, it's like, sorry, the Wi-Fi's out. I'm like, okay, great.
He's probably flying around a bunch of my parts right now. So if
Prob-
that's any consolation.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Well, yeah, I know where he's going. He mentioned it. It's not a secret. He's going to Vegas.
Nice. Oh, that's right. The
Remember a convention or something?
yeah, he's going to the that card game. He's
Magic, or
going
was
to
it
a
a
Magic.
different one?
Yeah, Magic the Gathering conference. That's awesome, man. Oh, good time, man. Have a good time. I love conferences. They're so much fun, especially when you meet people there that you know in the community. It's really sweet. Anything else, Tajo? Anything else you want to talk about, man, that you've been doing?
Not really. Spending money I don't want to spend on stuff I don't want to spend it on, you know.
You just mentioned every one of
other
our
than that-
lives.
Yeah.
Every time I
Yeah.
turn around.
I mean, I know you felt the pain somewhat recently, but I just had to get like 3 trees cut down. So that
yeah,
was
I'm not even
expensive.
done yet. Our neighborhood has tons of trees, and I got a termite job, big
Yeah.
termite job coming up. And my wife says, "You going to use that to finish off those trees in the backyard?" I'm like, "Oh, I guess I am. At least I'll donate."
I got
toward
pretty
it.
lucky though. I got pretty lucky that I actually work with a guy who owns a tree cutting company, so he cut me a
Oh,
really good deal.
You can get some good deals. There's a lot of profit margin in tree care and tree
Yeah.
trimming and stuff. So I've had some swinging prices, man. I had one guy says, "Hey, give me a really good Google review. I'm trying to build my business up, and I'll get this 100-foot oak tree out of your backyard for like," I think he said like 2,500. Everyone was quoting me like 45, 6,600. I'm like,
Yeah.
you're high, man. There's no way in hell I'm going to pay you to do that. That's like a car. No way.
Yeah. I got basically 3 40 footers cut down for $1,900. I mean, it was just outstanding.
Jeez, man, that's a good
Because
deal.
everywhere else I quoted was like $3,000 plus. I mean, it was
Well,
just
all my mammoth trees are gone. I just have a few scrub trees I got to get taken out, so it won't be as much. But definitely, the thicker the tree, the more expensive it goes up because they have to use bigger saws, and not to mention their wear and tear on those chainsaws. Awesome, man. Good to hear, man. I mean, it's good to talk with you, man. I know it's been a while since we've spoke, but I'm glad you came on tonight,
I
man.
kind of when I quit playing Destiny, I just quit checking in on the Discord as much.
I know. That's because we were all about Destiny back then. If you're not playing Destiny, it's kind of hard to talk, in a community of a bunch of Destiny players when you're not really care to play the game anymore. So I get it, man. It's why we pivoted.
Funny. It's like it's the other is I've been living vicariously through the Destiny podcast because it's like I haven't been able to play, and it's like I still love the story.
Yeah.
So I don't know
what the story is.
He doesn't. He skips. No, here's the thing though. when Destiny's hot and there's a lot to talk about, we'll be talking about it. Trust me, because it's still mine and Kingsley's love. We still love the game. So
I'm sure I'll check back in once things pick up, or if they pick up. However it goes.
In May we're going to hear something about the June update. So we'll know more about what's going on with Bungie come May. In our May episodes, we'll be talking more and more about Destiny. So hang in there. We're not leaving Destiny behind. We still love the game. We still love to play it. I mean, we raid every weekend, for Christ's sake. So, Kingsley, what's going on?
I started that.
Are you? Yeah, you are. You are the one.
You want to?
Yeah. I forgot about that.
Yeah. Yeah. We'll get into the rating talk too, for sure. Yeah. But I do want to mention, we want people to stay in the Discord and chat about whatever, because again, we've always had the other channels like Life Talk or whatever, but we're doing really good with the other games channel too. If no one's checked that out, I created a forum where you can go into all the different games. You can create your own if you want. We're having a lot of talk in games like, whatever, like Warframe, Division, Diablo, lots of games out there. You can talk about whatever, and we want you to stay in the community. If you want to talk about games, talk about whatever you want, and there'll probably be someone that has some kind of input, unless it's something super small. Yeah. But even still, stay in the community. It's not just Destiny. And then, of course, none of the Destiny stuff's going away. So,
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. What's going on, man? What's going on this week?
It's been an amazing gaming week as far as I've been super blown away, impressed with stuff.
Oh, that's right.
And I love my indie games like Clair Obscur and hope they make more stuff like that. But I have some really, really cool big game things that I've done recently. One is been around forever, and I'm just talking about some more, but I got to one point. And then one's a new expansion that came out for a big game. So I'll start with talking a little bit more about Warframe, just because I got to the point where the big kind of area in the middle where there's a big drop, a big spoiler, big thing that happens. And I'm going to be very respectful because I was very lucky to be in a situation where I was not spoiled at all with this thing. And most of the time also, I don't really care. I kind of like looking up stuff, and then the reason why I still appreciate spoilers generally is because then when it comes up in the game, I see how it plays out there versus in my mind, and it's just kind of a fun experience. But for whatever reason, I wasn't spoiled about this huge thing. Luckily, the videos I watched, it's kind of probably like this unwritten rule in the community, if you can keep this a secret, do this. So, and in this situation, I was really glad it was a surprise, because it was pretty darn impressive, this big spoiler thing that happens in Warframe once you get through the campaign for a bit. It's game changing, and really impressed with the music more and more in Warframe. We always say Bungie has great music, but we can't say it's the only game with great music. Just everything that's going on, this company still is rocking it, and it shows you that live service games can last. You can have a good company. From what we can tell, Digital Extremes, people love working there. Whenever they're having developer streams and stuff, everyone seems happy. They're not looking like deer in the headlight like sometimes of the Bungie streams, they get caught with art theft or things like that. It's just, I'm super impressed with it so far. And it's always, like I said, it's been a game forever I've been meaning to check out, but now that I'm finally going through it, it's pretty cool experience. And this big spoiler thing that happened, I was really impressed with. And of course, I'm not going to mention anything because it needs to stay that way if you have not experienced it.
Yeah, I've seen you
And
playing
then,
both games. Yeah.
yeah, and then Diablo 4 just had its major expansion DLC release called Lord of Hatred, and it is an amazing expansion. Amazing, amazing.
Oh.
I don't think I've ever seen a Diablo campaign that isn't good, but that they're always knocking it out of the park. You can't. They do a good job with that game, and even if people don't like seasonal things here and there, whatever, and sure that can go up and down a little bit, but generally they knock it out of the park with the seasons too. But
Yeah. I'm going to lose my
campaign,
wife for about 3 months
yeah,
on this one.
yeah, yeah. And but boy, this camp so many like just surprises and emotional events or threads in the story and amazing battles that were just blow my mind with like lighting effects and things moving around and mechanics you have to do and stuff. And the music, of course, also in Diablo is amazing. So that really helps. I've been turning, like I was mentioning earlier, I've been turning the sound up louder. I've been taking it slower and just trying to kind of have a vibe experience with this campaign. And a lot of people that are also Diablo fans have finished the campaign already. I mean, it came out on Monday, but it's not a huge campaign, bigger than a lot of Destiny campaigns, but still you can get it done fairly fast if you pump through it. But nothing wrong with that too. I like that a lot, but this time I'm taking it slower and just really vibing with it and so impressed with the latest
Wow.
campaign and having so much fun in Diablo. So
You're pretty tough on games. Coming from
there.
you, that's a big compliment, man.
Yeah. It's really good. So the big companies can definitely knock it out of the park too.
Oh, yeah.
With things. And if anyone has ever liked Diablo even a little bit, now is definitely a time to step back in because of just how good the campaign is. So many quality of life things over the years have gotten better that if you just want to play the campaign and be done, or if you want to do all the end game stuff, it is in a really, really good spot for end game stuff too.
Yeah, and it'll run on a potato too.
Oh yeah. Yeah, it's one of the few games I can put in 4K and not worry about, because I have a fairly okay rig, but normally I can't do 4K 120, but I can actually do 4K 140 with Diablo. So
Yeah.
really nice on my rig.
Nice.
But yeah, it's a fun. So you've played it some, or Nate, or?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
My wife is hooked on it. Like ever since Diablo 4 came out, it was just like she bought it, and it's like I'll be laying in bed like, babe, you coming to home? You coming to bed? And nothing. And I like I peek my head in the office.
Nate's
and
getting blocked. Like
right.
Getting
I peek my head around the corner and she's playing Diablo, and it's like, okay. And then I was like, yeah, well, when she gets done with the campaign, it'll be fine. And then the first expansion came out, and it was like, oh man, there goes 3 months. And
then the seasons.
Yeah.
That character is kind of bulky, isn't he? Yeah, you got muscles, and you come over here and look at this.
Yeah, no. She plays she plays all classes. So
nice.
Yeah, she's super.
She lets my kids dress them up.
Nice. That's fun.
But yeah, a lot of fun with that. It's a good gaming period for me right now. I have too much also, but like that I want to play.
Yeah.
Like still always enjoying Division and enjoying raiding. I try to do once or twice a week. I mean, we have our Saturday night ones generally, and then we have sometimes I'll join Wednesday ones also. I do also want to give a shout out. We had a fun thing in the Discord. We'd love to see more people next time. We did a little movie night last Saturday night.
Yeah, I missed that. What did you guys?
Yeah.
Oh, I remember what you told me.
You know. Come on.
I spent some time with Mrs. Gator. Okay, let's just leave it at that.
That's fine.
I enjoyed my Saturday night.
Don't act like you didn't know what we were doing.
No, I forgot what movie you were talking about. Yeah.
Night at the Roxbury. We just
How nice.
had the idea because he hadn't seen that forever. Yeah. I'm like, yeah, I'm down, and so we just kind of watched that together. Good cheesy campy movie, but I want to do more things. Like I keep saying it, but I want to have a Jackbox night sometime soon. I want to have more movie nights, things like that. So people can kind of join in if they're gameless at the time or don't know what they want to play or want to have other experiences that aren't just Destiny raids or Crucible or other games too. Which, by the way, people, you can put things in the bot too for other games also.
Yeah.
You can do whatever you want.
Any game.
In our Discord, as long as you're nice.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, that bot's for any kind of game.
Immediately, yes. We're getting all the phrases in the Discord chat now. from the movie. Yeah. So I had fun with that.
Nice,
And I think that is about it. Life's good outside. Just work is good. I always enjoy my job. Luckily, I mean, I remember one time back when I used to be religious and go to church, but someone was asking in a church class once, like, how many people truly love their job? And I start to raise my hand, and like I kind of was sheepishly like bringing it down because like no one else was like raising their hand.
Yeah, really.
I'm like, oh no, I mean I'm not the only one. No. But
Yeah.
I feel bad, man, for a lot of people out there, and it's probably even worse these days. But definitely privileged and lucky that way for doing something that I love, and so I try to pay it forward when I can and stuff. So
I mean, they say if you love your job, you never work a day in your life. Yeah, you still feel like you're working, but your days just fly by. When you enjoy or where you're really engaged in your job, whatever it may be, the day just flies by. Then you look up and it's like, oh, it's time to go home. Okay, that was all right. I mean, but yeah, I mean, I'm in the same boat as you, Kingsley. I mean, I'm really fortunate that I really love what I do, and I love solving problems for people, and I love making my clients' yards just kick butt. And you get the pain in the butt ones every now and then, but it's just a lot of fun. That's why I keep doing it. So, for me,
I'm a huge proponent real quick of mental health and psychology myself. So I love that you're on this week, Nate. So
Yeah. Thanks.
I was excited when Tajo and Nate were going to be on this week. Next week we got 2 more. Excited. I'm excited to talk to those other 2 as well. We didn't see a movie this week. We were going to see the Michael movie, but I heard that they were pretty much glossing over all of the other things that we knew Michael Jackson was involved with. So we decided not to see it. And my wife really didn't want to see it. So we decided not to see the movie this week. We are going to see Devil Wears Prada 2 next week. So I'll let you guys know how that is. I know it's not exactly a guy film, but I did see the first one.
What are you talking about?
I thought it was funny. I thought the first movie was funny. I mean, if I can remember a movie, it had to be good if I remember it. Yeah, I think Meryl Streep carried that first one, but we'll see. We'll see what happens. I mean, there's so much star power in this, Stanley Tucci and stuff. That's gonna be fun to watch. I have been playing Arc Raiders, man. The new Rivenstide DLC just dropped Tuesday from Embark Studios, and they've added some new gadgets as well as a new big Arc enemy called the Turbine. It definitely looks like a UFO. It's a cylinder-looking thing that just floats from the sky and lands on the map, and it makes an entrance, man, because you can hear this whirring noise. Just disrupts everything you're doing on the map, and it frickin' shoots out bolts of lightning that travel and just light you up. And I've started helping some people fight it, and it doesn't really fight back. It's just kind of reactive. If you get too close, you will get struck. If you get struck twice, you're gone. You're dead. But it just kind of floats around the maps just passively. And I mean, like it knows it can't be dropped, and people are dropping it now. I mean, they're figuring out how to knock it down, but that's the thing I love, man, is each of the enemies has its own little personality or way of decoding how to get it to fall down and blow up. There's a new gadget called the Powered Descender. It's a jetpack but you hang on to it, and it kind of just slows down your fall from like a high spot that normally might hurt a little bit. It just kind of cushions your fall down, and it only has like 10 seconds. I think you can use it. There's a new Mark III Epic Augment that throws smoke when your shield is broken. It's the same as the Tactical MK2, but it has a lot more storage slots. There's a thing called the Dockmaster Detector. It's a makeshift treasure detector. So you're literally on the beach on the map. It kind of leaves you vulnerable, but you're out there using a metal detector that's homemade and trying to find loot. And you do find loot. It's the coolest thing, man. Okay. There's like a little light. It just goes beep, 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 and then it turns green. You have an animation where you start digging with your hands, and there comes the loot. It's the coolest thing. There's another item called the white flag. You can either wave it like, I'm peaceful or whatever, or you can stab it in the ground. It's like a little short flag saying, this is my loot. Don't touch it or something. It could be a fighting. You could probably start a fight doing that. But And I've heard the tennis courts is the places to farm the new blueprints. And speaking of that, funny story, I was in the hotel on the new map looking through containers, and this guy out of nowhere just comes up to me and say, "Hey man, look in that trash can over there." And once I did, there was a blueprint for the brand new powered descender. The problem is though, you need all these special parts from this god tier turbine enemy to craft one. So I'm probably not going to use it for a while, but I'm enjoying looting the containers.
You have the print for it now.
I got the blueprint for it. And you know what? That's a second person who's given me a blueprint for like the newest, latest, greatest weapon. And I even keep thinking Embark is like, knows when I'm jumping on. I know it sounds very conceited to say that, but I keep thinking that because I've been talking about it on the podcast, that maybe someone's listening and saying, "Hey," I don't even know if they could even have the technology to do that. It's like insert one of their developers in the game and say, "Hey, go show them where the blueprint is," or something. I like to think that that's what happened anyway. Let me live my fantasy. Anyway, but yeah, I mean, that's a second person that's just been awesome and says, "Hey man, look in that trash can. There's a blueprint in there." I'm like, "What?" And yeah, it was pretty cool. Pretty cool. Other than that, I mean, I've been watching, The Floor. I have my usual shows that I've been watching, and there's a new show on HBO called The Rooster. It's about a middle-aged guy who is trying to adapt to the younger people in a college town. We just started it. So
Steve Carell, right?
Yeah, Steve Carell, exactly. And it seems pretty funny. The writing's pretty spot on. And he's there with his daughter, and his daughter broke up from her husband because her husband was cheating on somebody. And the story gets a little deep in the woods, but so far we're liking it. And there's been other few shows we've been watching too, but no movies this week. So next week, like I said, Devil Wears Prada 2, I think we're going to watch that. And I'll let you know if it's worth a watch or not. So, I mean, that's it for me, guys. Let's get into questions for the show. We only got one question tonight. So guys, if you have questions for us, make sure you throw them in the podcast questions channel in our Discord, or you can also go to guardiandowncast.com and leave us a voicemail, or an email. You can email us too as well. One from Deadpool1 Merc here. He says, question for the show. Why do you play or used to play Destiny? I mean, why do we love to play the Destiny game? He's being very general there, but
you said used to also, huh?
He said,
right.
Why do you or used to play Destiny? So that applies to
so when you were playing it, why were you playing it?
What was it? I guess what he's asking is, what is it about Destiny? Why do you play? So let's go to Tajo, because I mean, he used to play Destiny. Why would you play Destiny? What is your...
I think it was just the amount of, because I came in so late, there's so much I could do, and joining this community really helped push me to keep playing. Like, if I didn't have the community, I probably wouldn't have lasted as long as I did. But it was just the stuff you could do kept me interested. Like, again, didn't care about the story. I don't even know what's going on. But the gunplay was amazing. The powers were great. Like you said earlier in the show, I am very much like a task-oriented person. I love, collecting the red borders, or, ticking off certain things that I want to accomplish. And there's just so much that I could do in the game, and it was ever evolving and continuing to add, that it just kept bringing me back.
That's kind of where I'm at with Arc Raiders right now. I'm the newbie on the block now. I think I'm level 62 now. No, I just hit 70. Yeah, I need to really watch what time I've been putting in this game. I don't even know what the max is in Arc Raiders, but I feel the same way you do about Arc Raiders right now. But I mean, obviously the lore in Destiny for me, the story, I think the stories are interesting. I didn't think the episodes were that great. It kind of bored me very quickly, but I mean, it's just that Destiny gun feel, right? It's that feeling of shooting an alien in the face, and them flying at you and trying to kill you, and the worlds, are just fantastic. Worlds are so engrossing, It's a good fantasy to kind of escape to. Destiny 2 is. So you on the same page, Nate?
Yeah, to me, it's always been like, Bungie has a way that they make a game feel. Like it just something they've got that little secret sauce, whether it's the engine or whatever they're doing. And I'm curious because they're remaking Halo CE there in Unreal 5. If it still has that feel, or if it feels like an Unreal game, that'll make or break it for me. So yeah, it just there's something about what they do with their coding. It's always just the games feel right, and then somewhere along the way, you get a good story, even if it is disjointed or it trails off into a into a train wreck somewhere. But along the way, you're like it's enthralling. And I guess the more that I'm hearing about Marathon and them going back, and just how many things have crossed over between the original Marathon, Halo, Destiny, and now the new Marathon. Like Mida is always there.
Yeah.
Little ghost thingies have always been there. Little things that they're consistent about.
Yeah.
So
Kingsley?
again, and then Destiny came along with this nice little great community here. Like I never
Absolutely.
had this in a game. So
Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off there.
all good.
I try to give everybody, I try to let them stop talking before I start interrupting them. It's a habit I'm trying to get better at. Kingsley, what do you think, man? Why do you play Destiny?
Yeah, it's definitely the exploration part. I mean, I'm not as gaga about the weapon feel as some people. Yeah, there's a lot of good feeling guns, but there's actually a lot of not good feeling guns also. And that's not what got me started right away. But just hopping into this world that just seemed expansive. I loved the alien PvE element of it.
Yeah.
It seemed very lively. Like they had these things, public events, which I hadn't really, and world events that I hadn't really done, I don't think, with any other game yet. Or if I had, it was in a very limited space. Now, of course, I've gotten disappointed over the years that they never really ran with that as much, and if even tapered it down more, alas. But that's what kind of like got me interested. And then what really kept me on the hook was finding out about these things called raids. And even though I'm an introvert by nature and always thought I was a solo player, and that's still my base personality, but I found a way to join a Discord and join up with amazing old school groups like Destiny Reset Podcast and find groups to raid with, and had a lot of fun there.
The rest is history.
Derp fam.
Yep. Remember Derp? They had so many clans in Destiny. Yeah, they were the podcast back in the day. That's for sure. I tried to get Cyborg to come on the show, and that's when he was just taking a break from the podcast. I did ask him.
Yeah, I got him on TGH. It was one of my happiest moments before I stopped the podcast.
I know. I was like, dang
or
it.
not Cyborg, got the other guy, Aeronite. But
Aeronite,
you know what I mean.
yeah, Aeronite. But you also, what was the other big Destiny YouTuber that you had on your show? He had a podcast, Destiny podcast as well. The Cheetah. Geez.
Was it a? Yeah. I'm trying to remember which one it was. Boy, that's been a minute now.
Yeah, they had
the one guy still does YouTube.
Yeah, they had the campfire, the podcast about the campfire.
Yeah, but
geez, what the heck? Anyway, but yeah, I mean, they're we've had some great people on in the past, and like I said, we got to give our props to Destiny because that's what started this community, was our singular love for the Destiny game. And like I said, when there's something to talk about in the Destiny or Bungie world, we'll definitely make sure we definitely talk about it. But that's our show, guys. That's the only question we had. So remember, if you want to leave us a question for the show, podcast questions channel in our Discord, and we'll be sure to read it out on the show. But I just wanted to thank again Mr. NateFOO for being on the show tonight. Did you want to, before we go here, did you want to give a shout out to anybody, or do you want to plug your podcast again? Whatever you want to say, man. How can people reach you out there?
Yeah, I mean, you know where to find me. I'm always in the Discord. If I'm not, if there's a Discord that RNG Gator is in, I'm probably in the same one.
Right.
Okay. That's awesome.
Yeah, it is. Well,
to stalk him or because you love him?
no.
Funny,
all the
like
above.
it depends. Sometimes I get there before him, and when I see him, I'm like, quit following me. And then the next one,
Yeah.
I pop in, he's like, quit following me.
Love it.
And it's
But yeah,
guardiansmentalhealth.com. Is that right? Or guardiansmentalhealth.org?
.org.
.org.
Guardiansmh.org.
Thank you. If you're interested in getting a look into those mental health kits that they will give you on request. A bunch of great guys
Mental
over
health
there.
kits. We have an app. We have the
Yep.
Discord bot.
Nice.
We have the
Nice.
Twitch bot. Like all sorts of stuff. Yeah, just go
Nice,
go
man.
take a look at the page.
Thank you. Awesome. And thank you, Tajo. It's been a while since I've talked with you, man. Episode 310. I mean, here we are, what, 54 tonight? So thanks for coming on the show, man. I didn't even say you had to have a topic, but you brought a killer topic tonight, man. Thanks for coming on the show tonight. And do you want to give a shout out to anybody before we call it tonight?
Not really. I mean,
That's cool.
but I appreciate you inviting me on. Like I said
Heck yeah, man.
earlier, it was good.
Hopefully you guys will return as a return guest co-host in a future show. I'll keep you on my list, and I'm trying to rotate through and ask back some of my previous guest co-hosts. So like I said, I just appreciate you guys coming on tonight. It's been an awesome conversation.
Anytime, sir.
Kingsley,
Yeah, I'll gladly do it again.
thank you, sir. Appreciate it, man. Appreciate it. Kingsley Mac, I know I always catch you off guard. Do you want to give anybody a shout out before we go tonight?
No, I can always flow, but yeah, I was shouting out NateFOO earlier, but yeah, I definitely want to shout out Tajo also for joining. It's
Thank
been
you.
a minute, and I loved the topic that was brought up, and so thanks so much for coming on.
I want to give a shout out to Amazing Taco King, who is listening to us and watching us live on internet in the sky, probably Starlink.
That's a good one.
Yes, thank you, Amazing Taco King. Have a great time at the what the heck was it called again?
MagicCon. or whatever.
MagicCon. Thank you. God,
Jeez.
I do. You know it's getting late when I start losing my mind. Thanks everybody for hanging out in the chat tonight. Dad Bod Hero, Allocate, Deadpool, One Merc, Scotty, Scarlet Maddie, thank you. In our chat, Amazing Taco King, JD Kent, thank you, sir. We appreciate all you guys for hanging out with us and talking with us and giving us some input live on the show. And that's it. So remember, whether in your game or in your life, get your reps in. Later, Guardians.
And I didn't fall out of my chair this time.
See ya.